Pleiadian Express Productions /YouTube. Okay, I feel like I've done this before. It's like deja vu. Shandy Cleer is my guest again tonight. We had her on the other night, and there were some technical issues, some glitches, all kinds of energies going crazy with this portal. The portal was coming up. We had just gotten out of the eclipse, and there was a lot of crazy shit going on, especially when you get two Pleiadian energies together. They've got a lot of Pleiadian DNA in them. It can be hectic sometimes, but we've got her back on. Let me explain a little bit about who she is. She is first and foremost a self-described matriarchal crone, a metaphysical poet. She is a spiritual healer, Pleiadian Starseed who is here to assist humanity with the Ascension process. She is unapologetic in her way. She's very direct and upfront, and that's her. And we're going to get into a little bit of her story, a little bit more about what she does and, what her groove is in the Starseed movement. Okay. When I say movement, I mean cause, whatever you want to call it, man, the new age metaphysical, light worker, Starseed community, UFO church. Okay, people. So no matter where you're at in the existence, no matter what time it is, what timeline you're on, sit back, relax, enjoy. And from Iowa, the wonderful, wonderful state of Iowa, Shandy Cleer is here. And first of all, Shandy, before we get into this dialogue here, how are you doing tonight?
Much better now that we got right in and we fucking are on it. And you still see the green glitch. I got my camera on the sidewalk. It's like this green designs. Check them out.
I know. I thought you did that on purpose. Really?
No, my camera's on and I flipped it to the sidewalk because I came outside real quick.
Oh, man, that is fucking badass. Okay.
I came outside and I was like, oh, you're not seeing this bright face because the light popped on. So I flipped the camera and that's what it was glitching for a minute and it stopped on that.
Well, that is some psychedelic stuff, man. That's like poison dreams, distorted dreams, mushroom dreams.
I see the number 3.
Yeah, I did too. I did too.
And shit. And then I see it over to the right, a big ass number 3.
We can't get rid of that light language, can we? We can't shake it, girl. It's here to stay.
No, I don't know where all those are from, but hey, somebody's chiming in.
They are. You know what? I think it's like rock and roll. It's here to stay, don't you? The light language.
For sure. Oh, I'm going back down the stairs. There's my legs. Oh.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
look at that.
Sure.
Look at that. Look at that.
It's still green though. I mean,
it's still green.
I'm underground now.
No, man, we're down to the Pleiadian underground. She gets around and around. And she don't stop for those. She gets around. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks here because we love taxes. The Pleiadians, we love taxes in the Pleiades. Anyway, no, I really do. I'm kind of the weirdo. I think I hate people that bitch about them. I don't hate them, but I think they're ridiculous.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, don't drive the road.
But that's neither here nor there because we don't control that. So
we don't control it. Yeah, don't drive the road if you don't like paying them. Okay, so basically, we're talking about last time in 2004. We it was kind of when you had your awakening. Now 21 was when you had your Starseed thing come about, where that came into your consciousness of awareness. But so I know Carol and I on our show the other day were talking about channeling and different forms of it. We're constantly, everybody's channeling all the time, no matter what, any kind of thought that comes to you. But in the traditional sense of it, you were talking about how you started with doing it with the cards in 2004. Why don't you get into a little bit about?
Okay. All right,
yeah, that.
All right. So I was in California, Southern California for 8 years had 3 kids there. Baby daddy went cuckoo. And so I came back and I came back to town. My mom instantly, like quickly, like one day fucking shenanigan. And then I lived with my friend Kathy and my friend Mickey from childhood. Like she grew up with me and we were the ones that would like go sell quartz crystals to the neighbor. She's the Mickwitch. I'm the Shandwitch. We're the McShandwitch. But yeah. But she's like, here, Claire, here's some cards. You want to do tarot cards? I'm like, what is this? What is this? And I didn't know anything about it. I mean, I did, but I didn't. Right. And like, then like a week late, I was, they're the Rider-Waite tarot cards, the normal ones that you fucking a week later, I went with my friend Kathy and we went hunting for some Mexicans at the park because we was trying to, have a good time because that's what happened. That's what we did. And we came across these dudes and we like hung out with them and then we invited them over to the crib and one dude sat next to me and he was singing some song by Alicia Keys and I looked at him, I said, you speak English? He's like, there's a lot of things you don't know about me. And he's like, and he said in Spanish, he's like, I know you got some cards. I'm like, what? And his name's Jesus Angel. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, come on. So we go in the kitchen and mind you, this is 2004. in 2004. You guys can connect the dots. I'm not going to mention any specifics about our partying situation, but um I was like, all right. And so he's like, here, and he throws me the cards and like he's like, read them. I'm like, I don't fucking know. He's like, well, do it. And then he didn't say nothing. And then so I had to like decipher them. And we did this like silently, and he would just look at me and like like he was my teacher. He's my Mr. Miyagi. He was born on the day my uncle died, and he would just like look at me and like I would develop my psychic. We had psychic telepathic syndrome. Like I'm going to dedicate my book to him. But like what happened, and we just kept doing. I'm like, what do these all mean? What do these all mean? And he would just like, and he would tell me like these little quotes, like there's a difference between what you think and what you know. Like don't let the monkeys play on your mind. What you know in your soul is true. Because I'd always want to prove it. And like he would like back in the day, the Nokia phones, message CR52. No, his name was Shady, and Shady 3 would pop up, and the phone would go, wah, wah, and it would like fucking, it was a weird thing. And so like I developed my psychic powers per se, but my third eye wasn't woke through that little bit of teaching. But then he got sent away to prison. So then I was on a quest to keep learning and learning and learning. So what do I learn? I learned like, this is back when it was no intro webs, no Googles. I went to the library, got books. Started reading Sylvia Browne books, started learning about Gnosticism, and started learning about Edgar Cayce. But because in high school, I was always about the philosophers. I knew all about the philosophers and poets because I could translate like Shakespeare. I knew about all that as a kid.
Did you know about
Yeah.
Casey yet? I don't mean to stop you. Did you know about Edgar Cayce yet then at that
No,
point?
not until 2004 when I went to Barnes and Noble and was on a quest to find some fucking books in the spirituality section. Because I got my student loans and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get notebooks and I'm gonna get all these books. And I already had a bunch of books, bookshelves upon bookshelves of like learning books, like Witchcraft 101 and Wicked this and blah, 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 blah. Well, I learned about the histories and I learned about the basis of things and about the fucking, the Kybalion. And I learned about, the first book I ever got was Sylvia Browne's How to Contact Your Spirit Guide with a little CD. And so that was like one of our first meditations we did. And the Edgar Cayce one, How to Awaken Your notebook I got to go with it. I didn't even know it has a purple yin yang on it. I mean, I still got these notebooks from my book, but it was like that was the basis of what the fuck the book was about. And that book really like threw me into the automatic writing. And then when Jesse got sent off to prison, I like did the witchcraft. I did myself. I was like, all right, you got to put these candles here. I was very fucking diligent. Like I was teaching myself. Everybody's like, you're fucking crazy. I'm like, whatever. I'm steady writing, steady learning. And I like learned the basis, the colors, the elements, the like from like first grade on. And I built.
You were channeling. You were channeling totally.
And I was scaring the niggas in the neighborhood too. They were freaking out on me. I'm like, get out of here. It was so fun. But like, and then all of a sudden, Barbie Taylor, God rest her soul, Corey Taylor's sister, she came over, pregnant as a fucking pregnant could be. We were doing bad things, but she's like, oh, I heard about this thing about this birth chart. And she like drew it out for me on this graph paper. And we were like, me, her, and Mickey were like, we got to know more about this. So I went on like an 8-month fucking rabbit hole to find out about my birth chart. So I learned how to do it. I learned everything about it. I learned about my past lives. My mom used to be like, get out of past life. I'm like, shut up. And like, so I diligently did that as among learning more and more and more. And I'm just self learned. Well, then by like 2008, and my kids are little and I'm like a single mom, my kids are babies. And so like by 2008, I moved into this apartment and I found all random books, and it was like the laws of life and these books I've never heard of, and like a Taoism book. And mind you, when I lived in California, I lived with a Vietnamese Buddhist family. So I know about the Buddhist ways and all that. So like, I found all these books and I'm like, found this book and it said like how to actually open your third eye. And I would have this big old, like a long body mirror, but it was real heavy. And I had it on the ground and I would try and try and try like to do this fucking ritual thing. I could bring the flame up out of the candle and then bring it back down with my mind, and then that's when your third eye was supposed to be open. And I tried to do this over and over in every state and I couldn't do it. Well, I did it that night, and it was the summer of '08, and I looked in the mirror and I lifted it up with my eye and back down, and then the fucking mirror shattered and I like laid down and my mom was like, what the fuck was that? And I just laid there and like I couldn't describe it until I seen the movie Twilight when Bella got her powers. And it was just like everything. And I was already zoom, but it wasn't like that. It was natural. Like, I got the Holy Spirit. And everything was like, and then so that sent me on like, oh, I got to learn this, how to do automatic writing. I got to learn how to channel these, and whatever. And like, I did that for another year, and I went down more rabbit holes and just kept learning myself. Like my kids are like, okay, and I'm working a full-time job, as a debt collector. I had my whole desk set up at that time, and everybody was like, don't fuck with her shit. And I'm doing readings for my coworkers and blah blah blah, and like
Debt
it was so
collector,
fun.
and you're doing reading. Yeah, hold on, you're doing readings and you're a debt collector. That's quite the combination.
Yeah, I would push mute and I'd be like, all right, because my whole little cubicle
Fuck, man, I've
was
heard it
set up
all.
with the crystals, and I had it all like my little altar, and nobody fucked with my shit. And like, so then after that, about a year later, I had got cancer. I had got September 1st of '09. I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it was of the blood. That's of the bloodstream. Okay, mind you, I'm O negative blood, but like I would get my legs would start itching, and like there was these big old like balls on my neck, and blah blah blah. And that was right when I got like right before like okay, so the old man died. We went the plug. Let's call him his sister's name was Annie. Let's say, right, Larry? Well, we walked in his apartment and he was dead.
Okay, if you
So
say so.
our supply was gone. So I thought I was just going through like these fucking crazy, like something was wrong because I was all, dude, what? Well, then I went. My brother's like, sister, you need to go to the doctor. I had like big ass balls like on my shoulders and my back, and I'm like, yeah, I need it. Like they look like big ass boils, but they didn't like pop. There's like balls. And I went in, and they were like, yeah, that day, blah blah blah. And so that halted a lot. I broke up with my baby daddy, left the trailer, went to live with my dad, and I had gotten 13 rounds of chemo, 8 radiation treatments. During Christmas time, I was puking
Yeah, I was
black.
gonna say, and a partridge in a pear tree. Fuck, man, you were really going
Yeah, and
through
then
the ringer.
during Christmas, I went to my best friend's house, and I didn't even know I was puking the night before, and she's like, Claire, you've been looking cold, Claire, because my tongue was black and my shit was black, and I thought it's because I ate Oreos. No, I went to the emergency room, had emergency gallbladder surgery. They had and my chemo was the next day, and they had pulled out 6 gallstones. They said that would have killed me. They opened me from when I come visit you. I'll show you the scar. I was like Elmo's mouth. They opened me up like that, like a muppet. And dude, it was terrible. So then that prolonged the chemo because of the infection, whatever. And then on March 26, 2010 was my last chemo for that time, that round. And like, dude, I never really even realized it till like a couple of years ago. Like, I'm like, the drugs gave me chemo or the drugs gave me cancer. I was just convinced it was the drugs, No, maybe, but no. I think it was the acceleration of my ascension at that time. And my blood couldn't flow, my blood couldn't handle it. It was just so much. And then it just made me sit the fuck down, because that's what I learned. I need to just lay down and not, just be with myself and not be like Miss Mother and go to work, because I was all over the place. Like I got her done, dude. My kids, they have a wonderful childhood memories, but like what I learned.
Hold up. Did you go through chemo? I was catching up doing some notes on this. Did you go through chemo? Did you say when you were going through all this? Was that part of the?
Yeah, well, that's what
Yeah.
like sat me the fuck down.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
And what I learned, I got a whole bunch of shit written down what I learned during there, because my kids were young, and my brother's like, I was crawling into the bathroom to fucking wash my daughter's hair, and he's like, sister, go lay down. And so like I really had to learn how to just sit the fuck down. And that's when I got into meditation, because I didn't have time to meditate. I had to learn, motherfuckers. Ain't nobody got time to breathe. 1, 2, 3. What the fuck? That was what my mind was on. But once I like was forced to be in the bed, it was like I might as well start the meditation. And that's when I went into that, because it took me a couple of years to actually do that. And I have no imagination, so it's hard
No,
for
me
me to.
neither.
It's hard, even if they say imagine a purple flowers next to a green tree. I'm like, okay, I have to correlate it to something I know. I have
Okay.
to
Yeah. Right.
like
Sounds familiar.
as simple as the description is. A red rose bush. Okay, is it the one I saw at the store, or does it look like the red rose bush at the park? You know what I mean? Like I have to connect the dots. I'm weird like that. Like I have to watch the movie. I'm not reading the book.
The thing about it is, like, I know with Pleiadian souls, it's like that, right? It's like you have no 3D imagination, but if you let your consciousness go, like with light language or with thoughts or if you relax and let it go, Pleiadians have an amazing imagination, right? It's just when it comes to bullshit,
Right.
like
And
imagine
it's
this
like,
and imagine that, it's hard.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
because
difficult.
it's hard to do guided meditations where they're trying to set the scene for you. Where
Yeah,
they're like, oh,
too
imagine yourself in a
orchestrated. God,
garden, and
yeah,
now you jump over the
yeah,
second rock. What if I didn't go that way? What if I imagine something else, and now I want to go down another path? And you're like, you've come
I know.
upon this lake, and I'm like, no, I didn't, and it fucks with me. Like, how are you going to guide me to where my subconscious is going to go? Like, and it totally fucks with me because I never go where they say, because I'm
You know
never.
what? What some advice would be, what I try to do, I've been in many situations like that, is I let myself go on a little bit of an alternate path if I need to. I listen to what they're saying, but I do it at my own pace and rate as we're going through it. I don't look at it as like I've got to do everything this motherfucker's telling me to do.
Right,
You know
right.
what I
And
mean?
I learned that too
He's just
about the
there to
breathing.
facilitate.
Like the first half of it, like I recommend to my clients a lot of the times. I'm like, okay, so I recommend guided meditations. That's what saved me. But I go on like 3 hour shamanic journeys and shit. They aren't ready for that. But I said, what you got to do is get the guided meditations that are over an hour long, and then don't focus too much on like the breathe in so many seconds. Just breathe whatever, and then let them take you wherever you're gonna go. Whether you're gonna go on a cloud or you're gonna go in a meadow or wherever the fuck you're going, and then do that. But if they're like under an hour, don't. I don't. You gotta like, I can't listen to anybody but a guy that talks like this because it's comforting because grandma watched Wild Kingdom my whole childhood. So,
Oh yeah,
the
Let's give
real
Marlon
the beast
Perkins
is
a
in the
plug.
forest.
Marlon
Those
Perkins
voices
on
soothe
Wild
me.
Kingdom. Yes. Yeah, I
Yeah, those
remember Wild
voices soothe
Kingdom.
me. Yeah,
Yeah,
them
listen,
voices soothe the
hold up.
fuck out of me.
I've given several guided meditations, and my problem is you just brought up something there, like when you're talking about to take so many breaths and then wait so long to blow it out. I'll
Yeah,
go ahead and blow by that, and it
yeah,
also, you're supposed to hold it in, and I'll be given the
yeah,
meditation, and I fucking blow it, as far as the structure
yeah,
wise goes, because
yeah.
I move
Because
on
people are
quick.
focused on like, if
Yeah,
I breathe like this, then I'll be able to go down into that area. No, no, everybody breathes different. So it's like I've learned to not even, I don't even do the guided meditations no more, even though I like learned how to do them. I don't like them no more. I just like to listen to the music because like it's just quiet, like, and then I can just visualize whatever I want to. But I do go on shamanic journeys. Like if you want to, like, the shamanic journeys are awesome to go with the shamans because of the fucking beat of the
yeah.
drums. Like, and then to retrieve soul fragments from traumatic events. I've done 4 of them. um, 3 of them, like one when my mom died, one when I left California, one my childhood trauma thing when we got kicked out of our house. And then I went one place as a child and I don't recall that memory. So I opted out of it real quick. And that's when I realized, like, how can you heal anything with some psychologist or whatever if you really bury that shit down so far you don't even remember it? And I was like, damn, I need to help people.
Well, right, and we got into this last time a little bit, you and I, about, we talked about, forgetting about the past lives and shit. And I was like, yeah, and there might be one reason to kind of remember one, if you had some trauma, like buried from a past life, right? So there's all that shit to dig up, you know what I'm saying? And so,
Right.
yeah, and I hate to sound like your typical psychologist. It's all got to come up to the forefront and
Well,
bring it
I'm
up.
a psychologist of the soul. That's what I do. That's my wheelhouse in
Yeah,
the psychologist
right.
line. Like, I wanted to be a criminal psychologist. Like, that's my first fucking book report in
Hmm.
high school was psychological disorders. Like, I wanted, and then I realized the law was fucked up. So no. And then I wanted to be a
That's
psychologist
why
in the
I'm not a
nut
cop
ward.
anymore. Yep. That's why I'm not a
And
cop
then
anymore. Fucked up. You can't fight the system.
no, and then I wanted to be a psychologist in the nut ward, but I realized dealing with crazy people, there's only maybe 1% of legit cuckoo choose. There's always factors that determine their fucked upness. There's never really, yeah, there ain't that many. So I was like, yeah, fuck that. I've dealt with too many criminals and psychos in my real life. I'm good. Fuck them schizos. They can figure it out.
Yeah, really.
They got problems that ain't for me to fix.
Well, it's not an easy line of work to go into, because, hon, I want you to imagine for a second you're having to interview, and I've been there and had to do this. Some guy that just fucking burnt his little kid or beat the shit out of his wife, and I've got
Uh,
to sit there and question him, and
uh,
it's not always an easy thing to do, especially if you have
no,
kids and stuff like that. I'm not.
no.
Yeah, I've been tempted before to do shit,
I
and I
know.
never have,
Yeah.
because I don't believe in crossing
Uh,
that line. As a police officer, you don't lay your hands on a suspect, and even if it was warranted, I would fire a cop in a second who did it. But I've thought about it
yeah.
when I was on the
Right,
force.
right. And like, I, I've talked to crazy ass people and shit like that. And like, I just don't, I don't want to, I didn't want to, I was like, nope, I'm not doing that for a
Oh, I
living.
don't
Then
mind that. I don't mind getting right in their fucking face and looking them eye to eye and say, "You want to fucking go one-on-one with a great one? Come on, champ. You want a shot at the title? You pervert. Come on, play head games with me, motherfucker."
sure.
I've done that before, dude, in an interrogation room. But don't put your hands on them.
Right. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so um after I got done with all the chemo and shit, I lived with my friend, and she was like, well, there's these apartments, because I lived at the shelter. These apartments, they just build them. They're sponsoring families, and I signed up for it, and I got a brand new 3 bedroom, two bathroom townhome, beautiful, looked like a castle for 195 a month, which I lived there for 8 years. But what I'm trying to get back to is after all, I got my house, my kids are secure again, everything's fine, I'm cancer free, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to start getting back. I was like, I'm going to start getting back into getting books and learning more shit. So I started doing that while my kids were in school, because they went to school right up the road, and I had my days free because my child support paid my rent. I was good. And it was great. It was like a blessing, like, wow. And then so we went to this church thing like in 2013, this fucking giveaway thing. And I started speaking in tongue with this lady. And next thing you know, Jabus is the only way. I got bit by the Christian bug. Something.
Oh, tell me you didn't say. I know you said it last week. Say it ain't fucking so. Did you really go down that route? Okay, here we go, folks.
Yes, bitch. And I threw away all my cards. I threw away all my crystals. I threw away anything that had the moon and the sun on it because fuck that evil shit. I watched the dumpster take it away and fucking holler and fucking whatever, okay? And I'm going to this church and I'm fucking laying hands on these people in the back room and blah, 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 blah. Okay? Well, then one Sunday, who knows, probably 6 months in, bro, right? I'm in the back room, like doing my fucking whatever, and I wake up like Marlena wakes up from a coma on Days of Our Lives, And I wake up, and I look around, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? I got to go home, and I'm scared, and I don't know where I live, and I couldn't even find I didn't know where I lived at this time. I didn't know where are my kids, how old are my kids? Like, I didn't know what day it was, what time it was, nothing. And I like freaked out, and I drove to Unity Square because it was just like, okay, I think I know where I live. It was coming back to me little by little, and I got to the house, and I'm like freaking out, and I hugged my kids, and I'm like, you all right, man? I'm like, no, I don't know what happened, and like I slept for about 3 days, and then woke up like, wow, what? And I cried, and I was in this depressed mode forever because how could I do this? How could I be so stupid? Da, 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 da. That's when I started to go to a psychiatrist, and I'm like, I need some pills to stop crying. I just wanted to stop crying. Okay, that's when I became a lab rat. That's when because I had like intrusive thoughts, and I had super PTSD and fucking depression, and I got a psychological evaluation.
What they put you?
I've been on every motherfucking pill known to man.
They put you on Valium. Probably nothing good. They probably didn't give you any.
I could send you a list because some of them I wanted to, so I could sell them.
Yeah, I'll take the Xanax if you got any Xanax or diazepam or any shit like that to sleep. Yeah, I got any Valium. Fuck anything else.
I've had it all, believe me. And I've had bad reactions to it. And then I would take handfuls of pills and pills for fuck, dude. And then my mom died, and it was the end of the world, like in 2016. But after that, well, I'm gonna go back. So I just wanted to stop crying. So they started giving me these depression meds. I don't fucking know. And then they didn't work. And then they didn't work. Then they didn't work. Then they didn't work. Then they didn't work. And then the cancer came back. And when I first got the cancer, my cancer doctor, her name is Boriana Kamenova from Yugoslavia or some shit. And she prescribed me the 0.25 Xans. And I never had anxiety or anything until I got prescribed them. At this point in time,
they gave it to you, the Xanax?
2 milligram. No, I'm prescribed 3 2-milligram bars a day.
Oh, the Xanny bars? Yeah. I used to have the 5 ones.
I
really?
take them. They almost killed me.
I know where you can donate them to a good cause. No, I'm just kidding. I don't fuck with them either anymore.
I make good use of them, if you know what I mean. But
I think I do.
I was on all these pills, and then my mom died, and it was like that's when I started, like, I didn't want to live, but I didn't want to die. That's when my brother in Oregon, the first time, he's like, just come out here. I flew out there, quit it all cold turkey because I was in a coma, and I was crashing my mom's car. Like, dude, it was bad. And like, I went to Oregon or whatever, and we were there for a few months, and I quit. I was in the fucking emergency room, and I haven't touched a pill since. And I'm like, dude, I've done almost every drug in the street, but ain't nothing like them motherfucking psych pills, these big pharma. So I was
the only ones, they're serotonin. They're either really fucked up or they don't do their sugar pills. Dude, like fucking what was it? What's the fucking drug they used to give everybody or still do? The main one, the serotonin reinhibitor, the Prozac, right?
Yeah, Prozac Nation. Well, some people, it does work on them. It works. Look, it works on the muggles. Okay, that's all.
Wouldn't get a fly high.
It don't work on me because I'm not your average Joe. Okay, so it was like, plus I wasn't completely honest with my psychologist, so how could she fucking prescribe me the correct? It was all back then. That was 15 years ago, so it was like new to the scene. Well, then that got me into like, I remember living with my Vietnamese family, and I need to help people. I wanted to be a psychologist, but now I want to be a psychologist of the soul because fuck big farm. I'm not going to fucking sit there and people are coming, with problems. I'll just shut you up, just keep you asleep. When I learned about the whole sleep and woke movement, like when I started getting into the Starseed shit, I'm like, no, fuck that. We're not sleeping. I said, I want to help people. I want them to come to my spot and tell me their problem. And based on what I know, as far as I can do a reading for you, we can do a meditation. I can fucking do my crystal shits. I can fucking, whatever alternative method I have for that person to heal some shit, I'm going to do it without them taking a pill. Cause fuck that shit. Like, I'm totally against that. Like, I don't know why, but like,
I wouldn't go that completely extreme. Some of it's necessary. Like for instance, like Valium and Xanax, I like it to sleep,
sure.
and you could use one right now, actually.
Oh, for sure.
But
For sure. Like a lot of them work for a lot of people,
yeah,
but
for
like
sure.
if they feel like that it hasn't worked for them and they've just been on this pill and it hasn't worked, then they have somewhere to go to try to do it like alternatively. Like if it's just too much for them or whatever. So I just want to heal. I just want to heal in other ways besides just you know what I
you
mean?
can do a
Like,
mixture of, if you could get rid of like 75% of their pill use or 80, so it's bare minimum, just the shit they really absolutely for health need, and then you take care of the rest.
Just to sleep or just to fucking,
Yeah, holistic.
whatever, give them energy during the day, not to shut off some voices or to, make them stop crying or whatever, because there's alternative ways to do that. Why are you crying? Who hurt you? Why are you angry? What went on? You got to find like the bottom, get to the bottom of the problem and actually talk about it. And I know a lot of things about a lot of people in this generation and how the generation before them were. So I can explain that to them to be like, and just different ways of giving advice and whatever, without,
What you
just
can do for them, Shandy, what you can do for them is you can structure the explanation to them. You know what I mean? And you can say, you can explain the generational thing. And do you know what I'm saying? You have like a format down where you can explain it to them, kind of how it works and flows and what the overall thing is. And a lot of starseeds go through this, and addiction is rampant in the starseed community, or a lot of us were former addicts.
I think too
Because
that
the
helped
one
me
thing too with us,
hone in on my channeling.
well,
That helped me hone in.
Yeah, me too. But the thing is, right? The thing is with Starseed, though, the problem is we can take multiple drugs at once, and plenty of them. It's like there's never enough of them. If we were to go, we could get fucked up on a bunch of shit in one.
I never became all fucked up. It never fucked me up. It never became
Me
paranoid.
neither.
I always went to sleep. I always fucking smoked a blunt. I always fucking was on my shit. I always went to work. Like I wasn't all cuckoo. It took me to the etheric level to where I could learn.
And I can't say I've never been fucked up. I mean, when I was a kid, passed out drunk when I was a kid or a teenager in my early 20s. Now I've been fucked up on booze like that. But as far as these other shit goes, and really even, a couple beers, here in the last couple of years, it doesn't really, I don't get, unfortunately, it can be an addiction. That's why it's a bad addiction, because it doesn't you can't get fucking a buzz off of it at all. We just keep taking more and more and more and more, man.
And then your tolerance builds, and it's a bunch of dumb shit.
Because our consciousness is super high. And that's kind of the flip side too. The reality of it is, if you're going to use any of those drugs, you shouldn't use them unless your consciousness is high. There's a difference between watching somebody do a line, when their consciousness is high, and then some fucking person
and
who's
watching a muggle do it and draw 99 marijuana leaves on a piece of paper.
Or draw 99 pops. Yeah, they're fucking stupid. Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing? Like me, I'm learning shit. I'm fucking productive. I go to I went to the etheric level, and like I went and learned, and like even though it was mainly inner and nobody understood what I was fucking doing.
It raises your consciousness level, but understand, people, we're not promoting or anything.
No, we're not.
It isn't a good or a bad thing. It's just energy. And so somebody can get high off some meth, and they can channel shit, and they can, if their conscious high, they're not channeling in fucking demons. Yes, if you're not careful, that kind of shit can lower your vibration. It can lower your vibration, true, to where that could happen, but it's not just always just this terrible fucking doom and gloom. Yeah.
Stigma. This is my take on it. Okay, I live in Iowa, you guys. Iowa. We have so many anhydrous tanks here. The shit here is like, it's different. So like, I don't do it now. Never again. Fuck that, because I can stay up on my own now. I can wang out on my own. It's great. But like, it was like it assisted me in sending me, quote, ether to the etheric level. I went there. I was able to channel. I was able to there was lots of demons trying to come in. Oh yes, they were trying to fuck with me, but guess what? I fine-tuned my channeling skills and bubble them out, get them out.
You picked those up from the church, those fucking demons.
I know, bro. And oh my God.
It's the only place I've ever seen them.
See, what I learned at the church though is like about Jesus and all that shit. It was like even though it was all blasphemy and dumb, it was still seeds that were planted, so it allowed me to go down that fucking road, because I have many certificates and I have a fucking degree to teach theology and spirituality, so I know the histories of religion, and that's kind of like more of a wheelhouse for me than just doing tarot cards and being a witch. I know about religion to school some motherfuckers, and
Well,
people aren't ready for these conversations I'm gonna have.
no, they are because they're about to fucking get one. Listen, here's the deal. This fucking Bible bullshit, right? I mean, the stories, if they were true, they're not even interpreted, right? If there was some fucking thing has this immaculate conception, guess what, people? That was artificial insemination from an extraterrestrial race. If that even existed, we don't know, because several books have been taken out of the Bible. Anything to do with reincarnation, anything to do with witches being positive, and like angels that were there in the community to brew up tears and common shit. The church. And this guy in the Bible that they call God, that acts like a demon, I'm a jealous God, and there will be no gods before me. What kind of an ascended being? Some ascended being that was really at that level, they wouldn't even understand the concept of
It's so
jealousy.
funny.
They wouldn't even understand it. And it's such a misogynistic fucking book that, I'll tell you what, and it doesn't exist, but if it does, the afterlife exists, you know what I mean? And there's judgment day. I'm going to kick his ass. Yeah, I'm going to box the devil right out of him. You know how I'm going to do it? He'll call me in the judgment day. First of all, I'll get him to admit what a misogynistic fraud he is, and what a liar he is, and what a racist he is. And then I'm going to pull a Muhammad Ali on him, and I'm going to give him a right, left. He'll be toothless, and he'll look at me and go, God damn, you're ruthless. He better not be on the etheric plane either. That motherfucker best go run and hide. Yeah.
Right.
I got something for his company. Really, that's what I say.
What I know to be true is that with Jebus and Yeshua, let's call him, because that's his name, and the true, the old ways of the true Christianity, that when he came here.
Yeah, his teachings are wonderful, but who cares about him and Mary?
No, look, like he was like the original fucking like magi, like the original magic motherfucker, and he was like, I'm gonna show all y'all, but they were so fucking ignorant they didn't even see it. So whatever. Well, really, he didn't even get crucified. Him and old girl bounced to Germany. So
Yeah, I know. It's something like that. Yep.
As far as that goes, when the radical Catholics came and Constantine and them drew up the Bible, and the shit that they chose to leave out, the craft shit and the book of Thomas, to find God within yourself, is because they taught us that witchcraft was bad, because they're the negative witchcraft, and they know if we fucking did it, then we'd be more powerful than them, because the Vatican is the most powerful, evil, nasty fucking spiritual, fucking mafia there is. And so these nasty ass fucking Catholics, they want to sit there and fucking they changed it from a polytheistic religion to a monotheistic religion, taking out all the goddesses, and you have to you have to confess to a man, and then want to fucking be nasty little fucks, and it's disgusting. And like, what?
Yeah, fuck, and then, ladies, fuck you're the fucking smart one in the fucking relationship. You're so much more powerful with consciousness. That guy don't give a fuck but to blow his wad in you. That's all. Like, don't they know that
he's a
60-second man.
It took him months to agree to even write up this book that's in the fiction section. And see, because I have read all of the Bibles, and that's known to man. I've studied oh my God, everything else and all the lessons, comparing all the Bibles. Okay, they're all the same. They're all the same, different stories, same fucking lessons.
Well, hold up. I was just going to mention too, right? The another one that's like that is what you're talking about is the Quran. Now, if you really wanted how the story was even it's all bullshit. But if you want how the story was told a little bit better, about
fucking fiction, but they're all story books.
But the Quran, and I'm not promoting that bullshit, but I'm saying the Quran speaks a little bit more about demonic.
That's my ally. That's my number one, because I can channel these gods. Okay, me and Allah, we have a love-hate relationship. Yeah. I don't fuck with Allah. Okay, he tried to take away my Bosnian friend, and he tried to call me infidel, but we have overcame that stigma, and now we're cool, which is cool. But like, me and Allah don't get along. But like, why wouldn't you want to have more than one motherfucking shit? Jesus didn't die for them equal. So
Allah can stay on his side of the street, but the Quran,
this fucking bullshit. Like, what are you talking? Like, dude, Christianity is so fake, and they fucking like copy all the others, and they're just such hypocrite. Oh, and then they do wrong. Oh, I was in the sin of the flesh. How do you blame your religion and your teaching? Oh, I couldn't control it. It's the flesh. Shut the fuck up. And that's your excuse for raping that little boy?
Jesus Christ. Hey, hon, I can't, you know how opinionated of a motherfucker I am. That question you just asked, right? I can't for the life of me begin. It's one of the questions I've been trying to answer myself for my whole fucking, I don't.
Blasphemy.
How can
Guess
you?
what? Back in my day, y'all would have been fucking hung at the goddamn fucking stake. Why did they burn me? Why did they drown me back then? Oh, because they were men, and because, God forbid they were, that's why nowadays you have to embrace the feminine goddess. That's why everything's becoming more like that, because at the end of the Piscean age, which is the male age, now it's the age of Aquarius since 2020, it's a different thought process. And that's what I try to tell my people, even my kids and my grandkids. I'm like, Papa's not like that, bro. Papa's racist. He's going to think this way. He's going to think this way no matter what, dude. He's ain't all them people, them old farmers that I live around that are at least 65 or older, born in 59, 70s, whatever. They will never understand. And they're all about to die off. You know what I mean? So it's like, you can't fucking teach a kindergartner fucking algebra, dude. And you can't talk about reincarnation and aliens with Sister Montgomery from the Baptist church down south, because it ain't going to happen. So you got to know where, you got to fucking know where to talk your shit. And like, I know my shit. Like, I could literally, like, dude, people don't even know. That's why I'm like, the true truth. That's what it's about. And I believe that I've channeled a message from one of my Starseed masters, I call him. I don't know where it came from, but he told me when in a meditation, because I have a star projector that's badass, and I connected all the little places with Starseed Nation, so that I did meditations on my phone. And the message that came to me was, the first order of business, what they're going to do is they're going to dismantle the Vatican. They're going to take everything and they're going to fucking bring all of this teachings and whatever back up to light, because that's the first. Because I'm like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to get everybody to be, cosmic consciousness and blah blah blah? Two people can't even agree and blah blah. And they're like, that's the first thing we're going to do, and then we're going to bring all that up, and then everybody will have access to, and like that's like Christ coming back. No, it's like the consciousness coming back, bringing it back. Like the glow of the emerald tablet is like the heart chakra. It's like the Wizard of Oz. It's like the fucking Emerald City, and like little by little, that will be dismantled, and then everything will start to change, like the fall of Babylon, this and that and the third, and that was all that was told to me. And I was like, yes, bitches. I'm like, that's awesome to me. Like, that made me feel okay. Wow. I don't know if it's real when they say it like that. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's just my wishful thinking. I don't know. Like, I don't doubt, but like, that's
they're kind of, don't ever take it as that this is going to happen. Take it as they're kind of advising you. Take that what they're telling you is something you should look into. Don't expect, nobody's coming back to do nothing. Nobody's coming back to do nothing. Nothing's going to be. It's going to be a slow process of unraveling everything. So what they're trying to tell you, is those guys are trying to tell you to be, this is shit that does need to happen. And it's not that they're expecting you to go out and fucking do this shit by yourself. They're, right. You're putting it out into the consciousness. But
my notes that I have in my box and shit are literally notes from tablets like that, literally channel messages and shit. And when I listen to my audiobook, the Kabbalion, and like, the magas and shit like that, and I'm like, wow, I have all this shit, what they're saying, like the ancient texts that I'm listening to on my audiobook,
It's almost like they go, you can almost laughingly, you could almost accuse them of stealing it from you, but you know better, but jokingly, you could say, hey man, you steal my shit.
That's when I realized, like, time wasn't linear. Like, oh my God. But actually, when I watched Interstellar and he was like, that was him, I'm like, oh my God, wait a minute. Because I always did the divine timing, everything was linear. And then all of a sudden I was like, no, wait a minute. And then I just started to open my mind to all that. Even though I kind of don't understand it, I do. And when I realized, like, when I was young, I always thought that aliens were going to come and just take off my roof and like pick me up with their fingers. Because I watched War of the Worlds with fucking Tom Hanks and that little girl. But that noise, you know what I mean? The quote spaceship noise. I was definitely scared of that.
Okay. This is the second freaky alien movie you brought up now.
Yeah, that noise.
Go ahead. I'm going to let you tell the story, but there is one creepy one you're going to have to watch. And the fucking fourth kind, not Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but the fourth kind. That's some weird shit. Those other two, you can't compare to that one.
Well, when I got into the different Starseed shits, when I went down that rabbit hole, I realized, because everything I learned from the past, I always connect it with something I learned now. It always takes me back to that memory. I'm not that noise. That isn't the noise of the future. That's the noise of the ancient Mongols in the fucking caves. Like the first fucking, like, so then that's when I realized, wait a minute, that's the past. I'm not scared of a noise from the future. I'm scared. That's the past. So the past is the future. And so what I thought I was scared of was of the future, but actually it was of the past. And like, that's when I was like, holy shit, that's another awakening. Because you have like 99 awakenings during your awakening. And I'm the one that people like,
hold on. Hey, hold up. Can you run that by me back one more time? You have 90, what did you just say? You have 99 awakenings. Say that, run that by us one more time.
Well, because I had, epiphanies, awakenings. You have like 99 awakenings during your awakening. Like it never stops. It never stops. There's always aha moments and shit. Like I always on a daily basis, because I live my life through signs and symbols. And people like, everything. I don't know shit. The true sage knows nothing. I'm always down to learn. And if I can learn something, I have these moments where I'm like, God damn, what kind of fucking witch am I? How did I not know this? What? And then I go down and I learn it and I learn it. I'm like so excited that it's available for me to learn. But then I realize like the shit that was set in stone that I learned before about the fucking Kabbalah and the Tree of Life and how all esoteric and arcane numbers and knowledge is all connected. I get it. And it's all connected like within the vast macrocosm now. But now I guess I had to learn all that. I started doing mediumships in 2020. So I started channeling that. So now I know what it's like.
You know what it's like
nobody knows about. But like, dude, and then now I'm just like, wow, I'm not scared of death or anything like that. And like, I don't know. I always wanted to leave. Like when I realized I was like from Pleiades, where I'm like, really? I want to go home. Done with the woods. Let's go. And the first channeling I got was, if you want to truly appreciate your life on Earth, and then you'll be able to.
Wow. Okay, we're having more tech.
That's why I'm going to Oregon. If I got to be stuck on this godforsaken planet, I'm going to fucking God's country.
Yeah, that is true. Oregon, Washington, and about that top northern third of Cali where Shasta and the redwoods are. You go from there in British Columbia and Canada. That fucking stretch to the West
I'm
Coast.
good in my fucking
Southern California,
I'm good in Douglas County. That's my home.
Yeah, exactly.
Forest is my shit.
The valley.
I'll go up to Wolf Creek or Colliding Rivers and be good for hours. That's like the first place I ever caught lycos.
That's about 90 miles away from. No, that's not 90. It's about 99 miles away from me. It takes about an hour and a half to get to Roseburg from where I live.
With all the winding ass roads.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Tell me about it. So, I've never had a guest on that didn't live here that knew about those windy roads. So, yeah, they are fucking.
And we were driving my brother's truck and he didn't have no fucking power steering.
Yeah, and look, people, you can't find a straight fucking road out in this part of the country fucking anyway, hardly, okay?
And so, what trips me out? You're going around the fucking mountain and then the river's like 5,000 feet down there and then you go around the mountain and there's the river. Like, how did we get way down here all of a sudden?
Yeah, dude,
and like I would drive through the Umpqua Mountains and be like, I'm gonna drop a body right there. I'm gonna fucking dump a body right there. That's all I think about. And when I get back,
it goes on, dude. It goes on.
I'm gonna take you to the Umpqua Mountains and drop you off the cliff. Fuck you. I'm terrible.
It's beautiful out here. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to come here and start fucking around with the locals or the home. It's very peaceful. It's very peaceful and loving. It's the most nicest people you'd ever want to be out in this part of the country because it's got. But don't I wouldn't come out here and really try some shit. And I'm not saying because you couldn't handle or do it. It's because you don't know people we're network here and there's a lot of places to be dropped off and shit. And like she's saying.
Yeah. The Oregonians, like from Oregon and that, y'all, these motherfuckers out there are a different breed. They're backwoods fucking, they don't understand the struggle in that sense. They're not like swagged out. They're like super country and super hillbilly and kind of scary. And the Umpqua Indians, you don't fuck with them. They're scary too. But like, then there's all kinds of drug addicts.
But the coastal shit's a little different. The coastal flavor is kind of like a big city. Like how it's like a little bit gangster.
I have a license to sell weed there. So when I go back there, I'm going to work at a dispensary and I'm going to be in the cannabis community.
This is funny you brought that up. How were you able to get certified to do that?
I was 2 years ago. I was at the hotel after our house fire and I said, I'm going back to fucking Oregon. So I don't know. I just Google searched it and I paid $60 to take this 200 question quiz and I got 100%. And it was hard. I just did it for shits and gigs, my dude. I was like, fuck it, let's try it. And I did. I had that Red Cross money and I did it and I passed. I got 100%. So when I go there, and it's good for 5 years. So when I go there, I can work at any dispensary and then like pay the $200 to get the full on license after that. But this gives me my certificate right now gives me my ticket to, have enough knowledge to work in a dispensary basically. And the questions were like, basically my mom sold weed my whole life. I knew about the weed and I knew, and hanging out with the homie that worked there. Like it's just my wheelhouse. I was meant to get it, I guess. So then at night, like I said, I want to open up that holistic shop out there downtown. And at night I'm going to do fucking smoke and night classes and we're going to fucking chill.
You know what, girl? It's funny you mention that because I've had a dream forever. I even made a page to it about creating a metaphysical shop like that is
I'm going to do it downtown in Roseburg. It's cheaper to fucking rent a spot downtown than it is to rent a damn apartment.
You know what, man? And I wanted to have all that shit too and even expand it to have people that taught fucking telekinesis, astral travel,
Yeah.
maybe, and then have like a nice running, like a gift shop with a nice brooks of water running through
Well,
its
I
rock.
asked the kids
Sell
that I
like
grew up
fucking books
that
and like books that
well,
people write in our genre and new age and shit, and Lightworker Starseed books and mugs and shit that represent different I don't know, Starseed, star systems, Pleiadian
right,
shit,
right.
Syrian shit,
Well,
Arcturian, the whole
the
fucking
girls
nine yards.
I lived in this house. Dude, what kind of stores are there now? She's like, well, there's like shops where you can get crystals and books, but there's no like where you can go see a psychic or you can go get a reading. There's nowhere like that in Roseburg yet. But that I'm not going to be selling any merch. I'm just going to be providing services, classes, and fucking healings. You know what I mean? Readings and
Yeah,
shit.
that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't that be cool to have it work though, and like someday
Dude,
then
my
slightly
homie.
expand into other shit someday slowly if
Yeah.
if
Oh
it's
yeah. I
meant
don't
to
know where it's
happen.
going to go, but that's the first step.
Yeah,
Like my
man,
homie
that's
used to
what I
blow
mean.
glass downtown. He lived down there, but then he was partying, so he got kicked out. But I'm like, dude, if there's cannabis involved, my windows have to be blackened up. So I could technically like post up in there and nobody would even know because it's dead downtown out there. Like except for the downtown market and the tweakers, but you know what I mean? The downtown stores are all closed up. I'm just saying, but that's the end game. That's definitely the end game. And then we'll see where that goes from there, because I want people to come to my class, my night class, get high. I want them to have notebooks and pens and papers, and we're gonna have an overhead with some Sharpies, and I'm gonna do it old school, like no computers, no phones, no nothing, because I will teach from the books and I will teach with old ways. I'm very old school like that. Who knows what we'll learn about? God only knows.
Yeah, but that's the first step. You're realistic, right? You're not thinking like I was just like saying, oh, I want to have all this and all this and all this shit. That's eventually, but you're thinking the first step is that, and you're going to see where it goes because all you have is the now moment. This is
Yeah.
a very good
And like
lesson in the now moment.
I was gonna teach these kids, not kids, but they're like grown kids in my spare bedroom. Teach everybody's like, you need to teach astrology and tarot cards. I said, anybody that tells you they can teach tarot cards in 6 weeks is a fucking lie. The tarot cards are like 12th grade shit. You got to know your fundamentals first. So like you got to know your colors and your elements. You got to know the history. You got to know. And like I put in decades of work, and I'm like, man, I can't teach people that shit. That's a dedication. I'm like, you got to stick with me from kindergarten to fucking 12th grade. I can't even do it. I don't expect any student to do it.
Hold up a
So I'm like,
second. This points into something else really strange I need to bring up right now because, like I've told you about those girls that I channel, the Pleiadian girls. They go what you're saying and talking about doing that teaches years. People go to in these other advanced civilizations that want people to learn real shit. That you have to go to college to do this shit. No, you don't have to take a bunch of bullshit math classes you don't know, but you better
I just
goddamn
read
well
books and fucking did a
yeah,
bunch
but
of drugs and fucking was lying.
you got to demonstrate that you know how to do it and get a degree. They take it seriously. They teach it in these other
And I
planets.
think that I was
Yeah,
on that level for so many years and for so many
right.
days and nights or whatever, that it just the messages just came to me, and they because I have so many notebooks in my box upstairs that I'll put in my book about things like things that aren't in any other books. Half my journals are channeled messages and like fucking shit that like I'm always like, I'm gonna write a book that changes a whole category and it's gonna get all kinds of controversy. And I'm going Jimmy Fallon and then have my book signing because my mom wanted to go to all 50 states. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to fucking hide out in a shire in Europe forever. That's the end game, shire in Europe. No.
Is that well? Yeah, that kind of made you take a breath there. Wow, that's the end game. Is that's where you're going to end up? You think after
No, I
after
think
the whole
I'm gonna
journey?
die. I don't know if I have enough money to go to Europe because I ain't flying over that ocean in a regular plane. If I have enough money to go to Europe, motherfucker, I'm taking a
Why
big
do you?
ass
Hey,
Demira, a
let's
Stefano
explore.
Demira plane.
Let's explore that. Why is it that you want to go there? What couldn't you not find in Oregon or Washington or somewhere? What do you just want to go there for a visit? What is it about
No,
it that you really?
I want to go to my fourth grade uncle's church, and I want to go to where my family lives in Wales and go
Oh,
home.
okay.
I want to go home.
Okay, gotcha. So it's not just some fantasy looking place you never
No, I
don't
have
have any
family
work in or
still in
anything.
Scotland. No, I have family in Scotland and in Wales, and yeah, I want to go home. That's home to me. Like the Celt, because my great grandma emigrated from Ireland, and she was a flight attendant, and she's of the old ways, and she taught me all about the Celtics and my people, and I'm of the Tuatha De Danann and the fucking golden haired, and it's true. That's what I am. I'm definitely, because my first angel appearance in California when my uncle died, my uncle, the one that my teacher's birthday, he died on his death day. He came to me. That was my first angel appearance, like a week before I left California, and it was like he fell down some steps, which is ironic as fuck. He's like, well, your grandma sent me to you, and God don't let me see you when you're sinning, and blah blah blah. He told me this shit, and then he told me to call my grandma and tell your mom
What?
and your grandma it was a
Oh
dream.
God! What did he? What did he fucking say to you?
He said, God don't let me see you when you're sinning. I'm going to be your guardian angel now.
I've never heard. I haven't heard that before. I'm sorry. I just have never heard it put that way.
So
God didn't
basically,
allow
when
me to
I'm
see
doing,
you when I'm
he's like,
sinning.
I'm always going to be there for you, but like not when you're doing bad.
Oh fuck!
Like that's on you.
That's creepy. What a creepy bunch of shit.
Yeah, and I was like, whatever. And then so I called my grandma the next day, and she's like, did your uncle come to you? I'm like, yep. And she's like, call your mom. And like, he was in the hospital for 2 days, and then they pulled the plug, but he died on February 9th, and that's my teacher Jesse's birthday. But like, dude, and it was crazy. But he's been my fucking guardian angel since. Yeah, he was crazy. That's my uncle B.
Oh, is he the one that told you? Okay, I got you. He's the one that told you, God don't let me see you when you're sinning. That's the one that told
he's my guardian angel. He's my designated guardian angel out of all my
okay.
family members. He's the one.
Has he learned not to say that kind of shit now that he's in the other side?
He's learned so much, and like he does so much up there, and like his life was sacrificed to save mine because he was found dead in this alley by a car wash, and then that's 3 days later I came home from California because it was some crazy shit. I'm not going to go into that.
Do you realize you're the fourth person over the years? I'm thinking, I'm not going to say who that told me that what you just happened. You had that happen with him, that he became your guardian angel, but he learned a lot going through that and where he's at now.
Yeah. Well, his life was sacrificed because he was a drunk piece of shit. He was homeless.
Yep, same thing with this girl. Same thing. Only this was her dad. But it's the same story.
I took care of him his whole life, motherfucker. I took care of my drunk ass uncle, And so like where they found him in an alley, okay? This was 2003, right? In this alley on Broadway Street, okay? Right behind this specific house. And so when I was off the Zans after my mom died, they found me, and some homeless man found me in a puddle at the same fucking spot my Uncle Brian died and saved my life. And I was in a coma for 5 days, or I would have died because I was about to get hypothermia. And it was right next door to John Wayne Gacy's house, right there on Broadway Street. And that's the same place they found my uncle dead. And I guarantee you that was my uncle that saved me that day. That's just one of a million trillion stories I'm not going to tell you guys. I have all kinds of.
And I bet you're very Pleiadian, and I bet you could roll right into another one and just fucking start on a straw. I mean, you could tie that one into one.
Volume 3 books. Like I was like, dude, I told you earlier, I can't tell you all my stories. It's going to take fucking hours and hours and hours and hours.
I wouldn't know what that was like. Okay, you mean going on and on and on and on and shit to get a point across? I wouldn't know what that was like.
All of that though, like all of my traumas and my near-death experiences and my cancer, and my fucking and my, going back and forth to the West Coast, everything that happened to me was preparing me to be able to be a healer, or to be able to fucking help people, because I can relate to any fucking ever since I was 13. Relationships, that was my theme. I've been in every relationship known to man since I was a kid. Like that way I can help people. There ain't no story nobody's told me that I ain't fucking been through, and it's not like.
No, I get that. Yeah, and I kind of got that impression from you, and I'm glad you put it out there like that, sister. Because these are my fucking street creds as far as this shit goes.
I was always in charge. I was 13 years old, stealing Vietnamese guys' cars and credit cards and ruling the Mexicans. Like what I'm saying, the Asians and the Mexicans came up here to work at Tyson from that's when I was 13, bro, stealing purple Preludes. Man, I was out there because I had to. My masculine energy and my feminine energy, and then and I was always the boss. Like that was my mask, that was my armor that I put on. And then when I was a kid, I put on, or when my kids were little, I put on that armor of mom's okay. So I learned how to like mask, like especially in public life. I'm live on a radio show.
Well, how does all how does all this stuff cut? Oh, do you have to go?
Yeah, no, both my daughters just showed up. Say hi.
Hey, hi, you're on live. Say something. Come on in. Say something to everybody out there.
Ask them, what do you think of your mom's?
Listen, we just came to bring my mom some clothes.
Awesome. Hey, that is good. I love it.
We couldn't leave without saying hi. They're talking about don't bother her. Bitch, this is my mama. I can bother her if I want to.
How's the weather over there? Is it really nice, or what the hell's going on in the wonderful area of Iowa?
It's cold. One day is hot. The next.
It's really calm.
Oh, burr,
and it's cold and it's windy.
About my crazy ass and my
you know what? Fuck that West. Fuck that Midwest shit, dude. I couldn't handle it. Fuck that Midwest shit. I'm on the Oregon coast.
He's in. They've been in Coos Bay. They know.
We know.
Okay,
I'll bring you home.
Okay. Bye.
Love you. Bye, guys. Have a good one.
Love you. Bye.
Don't eat the
Yeah.
yellow snow.
Bowie said my mom is crazy.
Oh, is she really? Tell us about it. Come on,
She
come on.
told
Hey,
me that.
don't run off like
Oh
that. Hey,
no, they don't want no
kiddo,
part of it. They know
don't shy away.
they're
Don't
gone.
shy
They all
away.
left. Why are they? Where are their children? One of the daughters has a 4-year-old. The other one has a 1-year-old. Where are your children? I know you didn't bring them here. Fucking kids. Anyway, all
Oh
right.
yeah,
Well, that
well,
was
yeah. They'll be
yeah.
like, "It's none of your
So
business, mom."
yeah, I know, right? They're grown up with their own kids. So I mean, I was a single mom. I raised them all good. They remember. They remember. They're like, "Man, mom, you made it." They never once knew that we did any drugs. They're like, "We
You
never seen it.
know,
We thought that you
my,
were drinking energy drinks and taking stacker threes."
my 3 are all pretty successful too. But they did. They, what the fuck, dude? The problem is they learn what not to do from me. A lot of it too.
Dude, you
Most of
got
it.
to have a bunch of kids because they can't all be winners all the time.
Yeah.
No,
Well, I
they're
mean,
doing good. My kids are the
well,
shit. I have
yeah,
3 Vietnamese kids, 3 kids that are
and you
mixed
got
with
grandkids
Vietnamese.
too. Yeah, and you got
Yes.
grandkids, right? Okay. Well, see, I
Yeah.
don't have any yet, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to have any. My oldest one don't
Well,
want
I
to. It's
started
not
having
going
kids at
in.
8,
Yeah. Well.
and like I'm 43, but my 3 oldest kids are mixed with Vietnamese. The dad was a Vietnamese fucking refugee. I met
Uh-huh.
him here, and
That's
then
I bet that's a fascinating story.
yeah, and then I went to Cali and whatever. Yeah, that's a whole nother book. But then
Yeah.
fucking I came back and I got with the white boy and I had me a little blonde hair, blue eyed Zach Morris Nazi. So I call my kids I got 3 communists and a
Yeah.
Nazi. Three
Oh my
commies
God.
and a Nazi. Because
Oh,
my
you
Asian kids
can't.
are mean. They're like, Hoi, they're like Ho Chi Minh.
Jesus, you really don't hold back, do you?
No, I love they're crazy. I don't care. We grew up in like it's not really a hood because it's Waterloo, but it was like the hood, like the
I know what
trenches,
you
like
mean.
on
No,
the
I
east
know what
side.
you mean.
My
Yeah, we
daughters were
both are.
baptized at a Black Baptist church. I mean, they got, they're not like religious or anything, but like we're from the dirt.
We
They
have a
call it
lot
the
of
loo.
similarities
Think
when it
about
comes
it.
to that
We're
shit,
little
except the church.
Chicago. The loo is the toilet.
So okay, so yeah, let me tie that in. I've heard you mention that to me a few times about the people coming up there. Is it kind of is it where you're located? So Chicago, I know is in the region, but I mean, is that like a funnel through? Do they
Okay,
funnel shit through
so
Waterloo like drugs? And is that a
well,
major
yeah,
corporate
for sure,
sector? The
because up
Chicago Syndicate. Okay,
well, three
okay,
hours north is three
makes
hours
sense
north is
now.
Minneapolis. 3 hours north is Minneapolis. Five
Oh
hours
God,
east is Chicago. 5 hours west is Omaha, and 5 hours south is St. Louis.
how far are you guys from Canada? You would see if
A whole
I was right.
state, a
Yeah,
whole
you got a
state
state
of
above you like we
Minnesota.
do. Yeah,
About
yeah, yeah,
shit,
yeah, yeah. I
hours
know.
and hours. It
I know.
takes
And then
3 hours
next to
to get
them,
up to Minnesota.
yeah, and then next to them is North Dakota. Yeah, Minnesota. And they sound more
Yeah.
Canadian. Some of the
I
Minnesotans in
don't
North
mean to.
Dakota than
I only sound like a Yankee when I say
Minnesota,
those words. I can
like
go
that.
poop on my boat by my oak tree. Yeah. No, I don't
Yeah,
talk like that. But when I say words like soda,
my
it comes
soda.
out.
I'm from
I don't
Toronto.
mean to.
I can't do a fucking
Oh
accent. I sound like a
yeah. Oh
moron, dude.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
Or
yeah. I
like if
start
I'm at
taking
the
it.
store
Now I'm a
and
Swedish
the old
Canadian.
ladies are super accented up, like I'll just accent it up. I don't know.
You're doing the Swedish Canadian there. You're like, yeah, yeah, yo,
Yeah,
no,
I know,
you
right?
like me trying to
When
do
I
extra
went to
Swedish.
Cali, they thought I was from the South. They thought I was. They said I had a Southern
Why?
accent because I say cement. I don't fucking know. And
Off of
then when
one
I was
word.
in Florida, they said I sounded like I was like from like California, like Southern California. I'm like, okay, you guys are weird, but whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. Your voice. The funny thing about your voice is okay. It's this weird dichotomy because in one aspect, it's as normal could fucking be, right? You don't really associate with one range of the country. That you got a little bit of all of them in you. It's like it's a very fascinating voice and a very boring voice in
Well,
one.
I always told myself
Yeah,
I'm a mixture of all the star seeds. I'm a mixture of all the astrological
yeah,
signs. I'm a mixture of all the numbers that you could ever be. I'm a mixture of all the accents and all the races, and that's what my freckles are. They're all the different races I've been in, all these fucking existences, and like so, like I've been it all. Believe me, I think I got
yeah,
a bit
yeah,
of
yeah.
everything in me. I'm like goddamn mutt. Every dot on my body is like a fucking mutt dot.
You know what? That just though not to target one starseed race, but that just kind of signified a Pleiadian. Pleiadians have all that shit going through them at once, all the time, multidimensional, and it's not like a mood swing, but it's all at one
Well,
fucking time. And
the
you're
first star seed,
and we're never sticking in one fucking dimension for more than a second. We're
no, and
constantly
like
monitoring all.
dude, it's crazy. And it's like, and the first Starseed nation I like connected with was Lemuria because of the crystals. When I was learning about crystals, I had found a Lemurian quartz, and I learned about it in a book or whatever. And so I kind of knew about it. I'm like, yep, that's me. The indigo babies, the crystal children. My grandkids are, or my kids are crystal babies, and I learned about that. That's the only one I ever learned about. And then of course I knew about Atlantis and all that dumb shit. But like I
You
knew
don't have
that.
any Blu-rays in your film because you're 43. You know, Blu-rays. You're too young to be a Blu-ray.
And then
You're an
my
indigo or crystal, right?
right. And so I connected with that first. And then when I started learning about it, I wanted to go down. I started with, because I've always been connected with Egyptian mythology, because if I were to claim a religion, I would be Thelemic. I would be Hermetic with Aliester and and that's based off of Thoth's teachings and everything. So I knew about that from the beginning because that was my shit. Like I know about Hermeticism and the divine order of the Hermetic dawn, all that shit. And that's connected to the Kabbalah. I know all this. Okay. This is old news. But like when I got into the Starseed shit and I was like, I didn't know that they were connected to that. And then so I went online and took these classes on Udemy, and I took a class called the Galactic. It was like a galactic, whatever, astrologist class. And that one cost me like $80. But when I take these online classes, I'd be diligently doing them. Like I'm a super straight A student. But like that's when I learned about the light language. I learned about the history and I learned about everything. And I was just like, wow, wow, wow. And like that, I went down that rabbit hole for 2 years, and then there was a fire in my attic. So I think that fucking was intense too, like so much going on. And that's when I learned the light language. I got the light language certificate. I learned how to speak it. And because I was always used to do like my fingers with the numbers and my fingers, and like I thought I had fucking Tourette's or OCD, but it was like kind of like,
Me
and
too.
then
Me too. Me
I
too.
watched Da Vinci's Demons on Stars, and that's what he does when he channels, with the
Wonderful.
fingers and
Yeah.
the thumb.
Yes.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh. So then I
Yeah. I've
started
seen a
doing
lot of
that.
people stand out and do that. Yeah. I mean, I've seen
Yeah.
people
And the
go into
light
these
language,
mantras
when
and
I
shit.
started
And everything like
drawing
that.
it, yeah, I started drawing it, and it was like I used to write like this. When I was a kid, I used to make my shit like that. Like it was so connected to what I used to draw as a kid when I used to draw cartoon shit or tag some shit, like the different like ways. And I'm like, dude, it's. And when I was learning about Taoism and I learned the symbols, like Japanese symbols, I was able to draw them perfectly, even though like I don't know about calligraphy or whatever, but like I could draw them because I could make the like certain ends like thicker, and it was
Okay.
just natural.
Wonderful. Wonderful. When was this? Okay. So you got that light language certificate. Tell me when this was and how you got it.
2022.
And you got it through who and how? What
Um,
did you have to do?
No, it was an online course through
Yeah.
it's an app called Udemy,
Yeah, give
and
me an
I
idea of
paid.
what they asked you to do and shit. Though, what kind of? Well, give me a fucking. What did they like? How
What
did
I
you have
learned
to get
first,
it?
like the first chapters or the first
Yeah.
whatever, was about the history of star seeds, or what they are, and then what their features are, and then it went into the specific star seeds, like the different ones, and then you learned about those, and then you had to watch the videos, and then take notes, and then take quizzes and tests and shit, and I passed them all, of course,
Oh,
and then
that
it
was a
was
nice
like,
little hassle they had going on. Okay, okay. I mean,
yeah.
I figured I learned all this shit on my own and
It's
knew it, but
very that
they
that
knew that.
that no, my certificates and shit are accredited, but they're just not recognized in America. If I went to Europe, I'd be straight. But like they're actually accredited shits, like the diploma
Yeah,
one I
well,
got.
they're a little more open
Yeah,
minded over there though with this
yeah,
shit than here,
right.
honestly.
Of course, because that's home. But because big farm and everything and the government's so fucked up against it that they don't. God forbid we're able to do that, because then we'll overtake fucking Christianity and blah. Oh my God, you know what I mean? We're the evil. We're the enemies. Spread the
Yeah,
light. Come on,
yeah,
Mr. Smith.
and it's not
Mr.
something
Smith's
that's
got to
spoke.
shut it down. God
It's
forbid we
not.
spread the
I
love and
know, and
light.
it's not something really that's spoken about a lot by them either. But they don't want that kind of a starseed mentality to have a new
Oh
evolved kind of a
no,
way of
because then
living
we'll
together.
win. We win. Then we overtake them. Oh, God forbid if they're not in power. Oh Lord. But guess what? That's what's happening. And I'm just doing my part over here day by day. I'm just healing souls, doing readings, do whatever I can,
Yeah,
give people
yeah.
advice.
You
You know,
realize you're just a link. You're just doing your best as a link in the chain. You know what I mean?
because when I learned I was
Yeah.
Pleiadian, and when I was all this, and like, so what's my mission? I got the Starseed Oracle cards. I went down that rabbit hole. Like I'm connected now, but like, what am I supposed to do here? What is my mission here? Now that I know what I am, yeah. And in one of my
Well, you
study
know
guides
what, man?
in my
But you know
shire,
what? It's good
well,
that you went through all this because you're well rounded. You know above it now, but you have all
uh-huh.
the fucking technical knowledge of
And
it
I'm like,
too.
dude,
So
if I'm able to channel Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, I'll
yeah,
definitely be able to channel these guys. And that was a whole different ball game. But like,
mm,
it's
little bit,
different.
yeah.
And then I write, and
Star energy versus angel energy.
yeah, and then I learned, like, well, now I was able to do natal charts. Now I was able to do people's galactic birth charts and tell them what starseed nations they're from, and I make money doing that. And then I help people ascend, and they're like awaken to that knowledge, whatever they take with it. I've done about 50 galactic birth charts for people, just so they know, because they're interested in what I'm talking about. And I'm like, all right, well, take that.
You should
what you
write
will.
on this. You should write on this subject, like do a
Oh, I
weekly or
will.
whatever, like just
In
one
my-
couple paragraphs
well-
about what you just talked about doing this, about channeling. And then I like what you said. What stuck with me, you said when you went over to channel the star systems, it was a whole nother ball game. Really,
man,
yeah. What made you think
way
that?
more clearer. They weren't as cryptic as like the archangels and the fucking earthbound.
We're star beings. We're not ascended enough to get it. There are people that get that, though. Believe it, not many, but there are a few that are. I would put maybe above our level. A couple that can get what you're saying, but not many. Most are phone.
Feel like the feeling, like when I would channel. I do a mediumship. I gotta fucking take a salt bath and I gotta get the energy off me. You know what I mean? And it brings me down afterwards. Like I feel dizzy and whatever. With this, it's like I'm flying, and like it sucks when I come back, snap back to reality. It's a harder fall, but it just feels more airy and more light, and it isn't as like, I don't know. It's just better. I feel like it's easier.
I agree.
Because all I gotta do.
I've never heard it put that way. I've never heard it put that way, but she's right. I've never heard it put that way. She's right.
Well, so when I
stuff is more
realized,
vague, and it's not.
yeah,
It's not. You
it's
don't
so
know it,
cryptic,
but
and I gotta figure it out. That's why I gotta use cards and tools to figure
it's
it
more
out.
of a straightforward. The
Decode
star
it.
energy has more of a personality in it. The star energy has
Yeah,
more of a
for
personality,
sure.
and yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
it's
that's
like
nothing bad against the angelic one at all. It's just a different realm,
no.
right?
Them are my friends.
Yeah.
I constantly talk to them.
But
I'm
I'd
definitely
rather
angel
hang
and
out.
fairy aware.
I'd rather hang out with the star guys. Yes, if I'm hanging out.
I became angel aware and fairy aware back in 2004. But like what I was saying is connect the dots from the tongue talk. I was actually speaking light language, I realized. The whole time I was tongue talking these folks and healing them in the back of that church. I wasn't tongue talking because that's not what it is. It's not your little secret language. The devil don't understand you. I was literally channeling, and that's why they kept me. And I don't know what spell I was under, but I know now when I think about it. And like anytime I want to talk to one of my Starseed peoples, all I got to do is and call them that quick, and they'll be there. Like I can just go into it. Just go into the light.
You are directly connected into the cosmic hotline, aren't you?
I guess that's what it is. I don't
You
know.
got the hotline. You got the cosmic hotline to that shit, don't you? You got the hookup.
And I put my hand up and my fingers up, and it's usually the insectoids that come talk to me a lot. They come talk to me.
Well, gee, wonderful. Did you invite them to the party? I suppose you invited them to the party then the last time.
I don't even fucking know, dude. But like, I don't know. I still got more to learn when it comes to like the history and the actual stories of what went down. And I need to know because there's so many different fucking versions. You know what I mean? I just need to get my history straight. I went right into the whole channel.
There are some insectoids that are good. I ran across there's a Pleiadian fucking what is he? He is a Pleiadian praying mantis character. So they're not all bad, but you gotta be careful.
The back ass way. Before when I learned magic, I learned the fundamentals and the history first, and then I went into the extra, the practicing of it. This is different. I just went straight into the practicing and didn't know a shit about the history. But in one of my Facebook groups, Shandy Shire, I have 110 study guides I've created that I was going to teach from, and over 50 of them talk about starseeds. So if you guys want to fucking learn some shit, I'm a wealth of information. All those study guides I've created.
Bring it on. How do these people? Yeah, bring these people. How do they find out?
The meta won't let me add no more. They want me to pay more to add more fucking study guides, and then they won't even let me add study guides to my realm, and I don't even have any there. So it's like 110. There we are.
Work around it. Create something like questionnaires. Just do some, whatever.
I'm basing for my YouTube channel. I'm gonna
get it done.
I'm gonna go to those study guides and just copy and paste my information that I'm teaching people in the study guides, and just like upload videos on my YouTube concerning reading that instead of you reading it. I'll be saying that. But I got to get it on my other phone and you can get it all together. But there's plenty of subjects. I can make hella videos on my YouTube about over 110.
All right. Just do it.
Never does because nobody wants to learn. It's like, dude, you guys don't even know.
It's a combination of things, though. With that, it's the fact that, they don't. Part of it is that we're just too fast of a society in the mind. We don't want to sit down and concentrate and learn on something like that, right? And yet, also too, we kind of know a lot of this stuff already. But I know the kind of people you're talking about. They don't. If I was that fucking ignorant to a subject
they ask me, they want to know from me.
Find out about it. I wouldn't need to. I'd find out about that shit on my own.
Yeah, they want to know from me, and I said, well, then read my study guides because my study guides are my teachings.
They don't want to do that. They want to hear you tell them some bullshit to feel good in the moment.
And they're not teachings from books. They're my teachings, like my shit. And there's pictures, there's visuals, guys. There's a whole bunch. And it's not just on Starseeds, but half of it is. Because I had to document that shit when I was learning about it. I had to document it
Well,
for further teaching.
Can they find on any of this on your Facebook page or
Yeah,
anything?
it's in my I got 2 Facebook groups.
Yeah,
Shandy's in the realm, the bleh, Clear's nonsensical realm is I have sister groups. There's that one, and then Clear's nonsensical Shire. My Shire has about 400 people, and in the Shire are those study guides. If you go to guides and click on it, you'll see 100 different study guides you can fucking read and learn and learn and learn and learn for fucking days. Shandy got you covered, but nobody pays attention to that. But okay.
you know
But
what
I'll
the
just,
deal is, though? Maybe we can change that to. You know what I think would be? You got to
well, I'm
look at
gonna
it this
just take all them study
way.
guides and use them as videos in my YouTube channel. I guess they're just for me, right?
Well, no, because people will see them eventually. You
Oh,
just
they're
wanted
gonna
to
stay
help one
there. They're not
person.
going nowhere. But I'm gonna translate them into videos so
Good,
that
do
I
it.
can.
Yeah, I think that that's a good idea, and I wouldn't
Because
change
I
your
got
mind
all the
if I
different
tried
types
to
of
do that.
witches, the different types
Do
of
it.
divination, the different types of this, all these different starseed shits, study
Or
guides. You
bring it.
guys remember what those were in school? Study guides? Yeah. Learn. Take
Oh,
notes.
damn, girl. God damn, you don't hold back, do you? Hey, look. Yeah, and you know
Yeah.
what? You got to look at it this way. It's frustrating as fuck, motherfucker.
And it's
I
hard.
know.
People don't want to learn.
Because,
They don't got the
what,
time to learn.
well, I don't like to either, really, and all that shit either. But you know what? If it was something I was into, like I was in these groups and
Right.
stuff,
And I
and I was
make it
into it,
interesting.
motherfucker,
I'm like,
I would
dude.
learn. I would learn. Yeah, she would. You guys, if you're gonna go structured and do it, and have her do it, probably save you more time than doing it on your own, sitting there and going through it. If you're not really
And these
diehard
people,
into it, but you're curious about it,
they charge
she
you so much money to take their workshops and to do this and to do that. And it's
They
swindling
suck.
people.
Most of them suck. I'd
It's
only
terrible.
recommend one dude. I'd recommend, if you're going to use anybody that's known like that, David Starr's shit is solid. He's great. And he's worth it. And he's
Yeah.
cheap. He's not that. He's
I know. I
expensive.
talked to him a couple of times, but I feel
So,
intimidated. I don't know. It's weird. I got to
yeah,
ease my way
I do
into
feel a
him.
little bit by him. And he's younger than me. I mean, not in a physical way, but he's very
Yeah.
intelligent, man. And
Yeah. I was just
yeah,
talking about
he's
him
a
to my
great.
friend today.
Yeah, dude, he's a kid worth checking out, man.
I
He really
know.
is.
I gotta
And
take
I'm
him
not
to
even that
more.
fanboy. I'm not even that kind of fanboy to fucking tout
Right.
somebody. But dude, he is one
Right.
of the. He's a very special kid. I call him a kid. He's only
Yeah.
6 years
I'm
younger
gonna
than me.
talk to him a lot more soon.
He's
He just
special,
started his. See,
but
he just turned 29. He just started a new life cycle because you live your life in 7
yeah,
cycles.
you saw my comment to him, huh? I said, yeah, I was joking when I told him he's 20 and he's not 29, although I thought he was almost that young when I first met him.
Oh
He's
well,
not.
that's what
He,
I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna rat him out. He's gonna kill me. He's 43.
That's how old. Well,
Oh,
then he's on another life cycle like me. I just turned 43. 43 to 50, I said, is going to be my writing cycle. I designated this
yeah, I believe he's
7 years
43.
because my kids are all grown. And I said, I'm going to go back to Oregon and write because I'm going to write in the mountains because that's the only place I can write. Like, because my hand been hurting because I can't write
Yeah.
like I used to. I was Speedy Gonzalez in school and I had a
So
pen in my
back to
hand since
that,
I was
but
4
hold
years
on.
old.
Back to that subject though, like besides him though, actually, and there's a couple, but besides him and maybe a couple I can't think of right now, I would not, and I'm not going to out them because I've known them for years on here, but I would not fucking, it ain't, it would be completely a waste of your time unless you're just doing, unless somebody's paying you to do it through them. I mean, I would be a waste of time. This girl here would make it interesting for you. And if you're not really, don't think you have the time or you're kind of only half-assed into it, and that's cool if you are, somebody like her would be great to learn from because if you were like diehard, anybody, I don't care how much time they don't have, if they were diehard into it, they'd know a little bit more than, well, I don't know. Some of this stuff they'd already know, but
Yeah, because a lot of people that are like awoke to the starseed shit, they don't
yeah,
have a history in magic like I do. They don't have years and years of experience of thousands and thousands of different types
dude.
of healings, to go there. So it's like, damn, if I can heal on the earthly level, what about if people come see me and I can call upon these starseed
Magic,
people and be
I
like
don't like.
Mr. Miyagi with them?
Yeah, you know what? The term magic is a little ominous because to me, there's only two reasons that magic could ever happen, and it is magical the way it does. You're either talking about somebody using an instrument that's a technological gadget that you're not familiar with from a higher civilization, or somebody who's got the ascension level to be able to do things like that, to
Yep,
perform
automatic writing and
levitation.
fine tune my
Yeah, it
channel.
comes.
Yeah,
There's a process. What I'm saying is there's a process for how it
yeah,
happened.
and
It's
it
not
don't
just how it's not.
channeling
Yeah.
everything.
So are you telling me, am I right when I say you can't just go bit, bot, bam, alakazam, and bada boo, and it'll, a bird will fly
No,
out of
because
that?
I tell people too, like them people that have like 99 different oracle cards, you know what I mean? They like hoard them. I'm like, you're really channeling all these spirits from all these cards. Like I have angel cards, crystal cards, and my gypsy oracle. That's it. If you got like you're really channeling the owl spirit, the native spirit, all these, like it just trips me out how people got all these different oracle cards, because I've fine-tuned my channel. Go there, like they're just dropping all these cards, and I'm like, dude, that's not how it goes. And like, I know my shit, and I know, like, when it comes to me, like when I do tarot cards, it's Mother God Asna, she comes to me, and that's why she comes off as a bitch sometimes. And when I do my runes, I channel Odin and Thor and them and all those guys. When I do my Buddha cards, I channel my fucking Asian gods and goddesses. When I do my crystal cards, I channel my crystal divas. You know what I mean? Like, I have a few that I channel, and that's it. That's it. When I do my Starseed Oracle, I'll channel like my homies up there, our people. And I don't really do them very often, because I don't just do Starseed oracles for people that haven't done their birth chart, that aren't like woke to the knowledge of Starseeds, because that's just stupid.
Yeah,
Just
no,
like
I agree.
I
We're on
don't
the
do
same
Thoth
page.
tarot card reading. If you don't know
Yeah, we're
about
on the same
Aleister
page.
Crowley and Thoth, then I will not bust out my Thoth tarot cards on you, because you don't know shit. That's too deep. You know what I mean? Like, I know I can use discretion. If you're very simple-minded, never got an oracle reading, I'll bust out my unicorn oracle, because the kids can understand it. It's very simple.
Yeah, and it's not a matter of whether you're creeped out by Crowley or not, because
No,
that's debatable. But you got
people
to
tell
know
me
your
their problems.
history. You got to know the
People, yep,
history, though. Like what
yep.
she's saying,
People tell me their
you got to know your game.
problems.
Yeah.
Yep, people tell me their problems, and based on their problems, I decide what tool to use. I decide what cards I'm going to use, or what oracle cards I'm going to use, and they always leave it up to me. And like, okay, tell me a little bit about what's going on. I'd be like, tell me your budget first and foremost, motherfucker, and then tell me a little bit about what's going on. I don't want fucking a whole damn story, just the gist.
Oh God, I love you, great folks. God damn, yeah, no, yeah, you preach it, girl.
He's cheating. Yes. A lot of times I'll turn people down. I'll be like, I'm not taking your money. What I can tell you is you're dumb, and no. When am I going to get a
And
new
you know
job?
what? Hey,
You know what they always ask me?
yeah,
When am I going to find love, and when am I going to get a promotion? I said, when you work harder and when you love yourself. Until
you know
then,
what?
until you deserve it and you're on that level, you won't get it.
Hey, I was going to ask you real quick. You know how you were talking about if you got to come ask me that, he's probably already cheating. Now, say that. Let's just say, for instance, he wasn't. If she's got so much doubt, she's got to ask. That probably isn't her fucking twin flame. You know what
Not
I mean?
even if she, if they know me, if people know me and know my credible, like I'm credible, I'm not just some random motherfucker, and they trust my
No, you're
answers.
not. No.
If I got to pull out my pendulum and charge you fucking $2 or $3, I'm not going to do that, because that's a serious question. Obviously, you just didn't think about this yesterday. Obviously, you just want confirmation on your own intuition, and I'm here to confirm.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not taking your dollars.
Beautiful.
That's people do. A lot of people do that too, and they tell you what you want to hear. That's why it gives us a bad name, because and they just use shit. It's so bad. It's so easy to scam people on the bottom feeders, and you just tell them what they want to
good
know.
readers a bad. You know what? It gives good readers a bad name. The
If
fucking
you're
thing about it
online,
is there are some
no,
miracle workers of readers out there, but they get a bad name because of this shit.
look,
People pulling this shit,
because I
man.
don't fuck with no other groups. I was admins to other groups, these other tarot groups, and these bitches fight like high school kids, and they're all against each other, and it's like, whoa. But like,
I know it.
if you got somebody online and they're telling you, I'm going to charge you $20 for a health reading, I'm going to charge you $50 for a love reading, or $10 for a job reading, whatever the subject is, that's a fucking lie, because spirit tells you what you want or what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. You could be asking about your love life, and if the whole cards are talking about getting a job, it's not real. Well, guess what? It is real. Quit focusing on your love life and get a fucking job, period. So if you got anybody that's telling you different subjects, different prices, it's bullshit, because they're botching it, because spirit don't fucking care. If you're asked, even if I write out a detailed 10-card reading about a love life, and it starts talking about fucking other things, it's going to talk about other things, and whether you believe, you know what I mean? It's like, that's just the way it is.
You're gonna take it where the light and the flow
And you
takes
can take it and whatever. My cards will refuse people, because you don't come back to me with the same question. Like in my life, I tell people this every 3 months: come back to me for a review if you want to get, another reading, but unless something crazy happens. But don't sit there and just ask it again, because my cards will tell you no, because you're dumb, you're slow. Like, and there's people that just go and ask everybody. Everybody is like, I don't get down with the bottom feeders. I don't get down with if they ask me a question that's like obvious as fuck, then I'm just going to tell them. I'm not going to, oh, this person told me this and they told me that. I don't give a fuck what they fucking told you. They're lying. Number one. Number two, Jesus. And it's all about word of mouth and reputation. That's why I got my feedback in my albums and my groups. And there's never been, the only time there was a negative feedback was because it was a mediumship, and she was the reason that her homie died, and she didn't want to face it. So I blocked the bitch. But other than that, yeah, there's all positive feedbacks. I got all kinds of them. And like, it's, yeah. And if I
Well,
ask them if they've
that's
ever
pretty
had
good
a reading,
stats, girl. That's pretty good considering you only had one. I mean, all those. That's a pretty good track record.
yeah, everybody knows me. They know that I never, because I'm telling you, bro, all them fucking readings I clocked in back in 04 and 05, bro, like with Jesse, my teacher, just over and over and over and over and over. And then with people around me, I did readings just to prove if I was right. And I just went through my box, bro, and I had like 6 notebooks of readings I wrote down back in 04 and 05. I'm like, what the fuck are these? These are stupid. And I threw them all away. I'm like, dude, nobody cares about this, but I had to write it all down. It's like,
Yeah, start keeping that shit. Yeah, let me get this straight. You threw away that notebook back when you went through that religious fucking kick. You threw away all your
I
tarot
threw away
cards and your
all
moon.
my stuff.
Dude, what
Yes.
a fucking stupid thing you did. Don't you realize that? I'm
No,
kidding. I'm
that's
giving you
why
a
I
bad
was so
time, but
depressed. Listen, that's why I got so depressed and cried and went to the goddamn psychiatrist to get on meds to stop crying. And then that sent me down the goddamn fucking lab rat hole. And here we are. You know what I mean? But I guess that was
yeah,
meant to be.
man.
It was meant to be, man. I had to go through that and to learn about Yeshua and to learn about Jeebus, because Jeebus lacks his
Hmm. You know what?
redheaded horse.
When you have those, just when you're a special, I'm gonna just tell the audience, when you're a special person like this lady, and there's a lot of us, when you were both born with this, and then you put in the work and go through the experience of learning all the technical aspects of it and everything, like she's done. Like I was just telling another lady that she did earlier today. You become multidimensional with it, and when you work hard,
Well,
but
yeah,
you got to have to be born a starseed to. Some dumb fuck from Iowa could not, or not from whatever Arkansas or
yeah,
Oregon
right.
could not just go and
Oh
pick this
no,
shit up because it's consciousness too.
there's probably
You got to
one
be
or two
born with
other
it. Like
people like me there.
Michael Jordan worked his ass off, right? But he was born, but he was also born with the motherfucking gift. You got to have
Well,
those
yeah,
two
when I
things
was
together to be a
born, like
millionaire.
I was born on a Monday on the 28th, both ruled by the moon on my due date. Like I was, besides my great grandma, I was the only next redhead, left-handed, blue-eyed. My avatar is 0.17% of the world's population. So my avatar is rare as fuck to begin with. And I grew up, my mom sold weed and my grandma paid the bills, and my dad fucking had kegers, and I was tapping kegs at 2 fucking as a kid.
What cool.
But my best friend down the street, her mom was super religious. She was born on Christmas Eve and died on
This
Christmas
seems
Eve.
so
She's the one that
familiar.
would. She's that one, old Mildred. She would take us to church and shit, and like we only went to church to see the cute boys. And like I kind of learned about it, but I never learned about it. Like my mom's generation was the last Lutheran generation that got baptized. My mom was a hippie. She like fuck that shit. And so I grew up in like a drug and
Oh,
alcohol
you guys had
environment.
Lutheran background too. So do I. Lutheran. We're Scandinavian. So yeah, that's on
Yeah,
my.
and so like I
Yeah.
never was taught religion. My dad listened to Kiss. You know what I mean? Like that's my
Oh
duh.
yeah.
It was rock and roll, sex, drugs, rock and roll, but there was never fights or
Mhm.
trauma but I always had to take care of all their kids, you know what I mean? Like cuz they were just too busy partying. And
Oh yeah.
then
You have brothers and sisters.
and my grandma stopped paying the bills, and then that's when I found the Vietnamese people and went to California and was out the dough.
They
Bye.
could they could write a movie about this shit, dude. You could just take an offshot of your life, and even that
I'm
neighborhood. I was thinking about
saying.
that neighborhood you grew up in, right? Because I did too. I had one like that with characters,
Dude,
and like
bro,
it was crazy.
I grew up
Yeah.
on 1221 Evergreen. 1221, 2020 is the first day of the age of Aquarius. I
Ye-
stayed in the Evergreen tree. I lived, like, we're
Oh,
in Blackhawk County.
I think
We're,
we just completely transitioned into it. I'd have to disagree
yeah.
completely a little bit with you there on the age of course. I think it maybe started then, but I
Well,
think
that's when it
this
started for
shift.
me.
Right. Well, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. See, everybody's fluid, but it's a collective. I think it just happened.
Yeah,
It
for
just happened
sure.
a couple
Well,
weeks
yeah,
ago. But
like the conclusion of it, it all
yeah,
like
yeah,
came
Pisces
together.
coming to
Yep.
an end.
I was
Pisces
just there
being
from the get. I was there from the get, man. I had fucking front row seats. I had the fucking, what is it? The backstage pass per se, the meet
well,
and
these
greet.
things are fluid. You brought up something I missed touching on earlier when you mentioned the indigos, the crystals, and I mentioned the Blu-rays and all that stuff. Right? It's fluid. You do have people that were born in different generations that are in that. But when I say years, and I'm trying to be like specific, I'm just being technical, and I put it for
Right.
the most part. There's fucking, of
Right.
course, it's fluid though. Right. But I mean,
Right.
the majority of it is what I'm saying. It's like when I teach people about dimensions, I only go up to about the 13th to the 15th because
See,
I
I
just
tell
keep it
people it's
basic
not
for
literal
here, but it's
places.
endless.
It's like
Yeah, it's
dimensions are
endless.
mindsets. They're
Yes.
mindsets.
And they're rungs, they're little levels that you go up each of them if you want to put it that way. I try to put it to a
Well,
technical way so they can,
that's what I
people like
learned
you're
when
trying to reach.
when I was learning light language and I was learning all that, that's when I started learning about frequency. And then when I started learning about how I used to tell people, you can't, like I said, you can't teach fucking algebra to a kindergartner. Basically, you just like frequencies now. I'm like, dude, we're at a different frequency. Sorry,
Well,
whatever.
but education is changing. This brings me to a point where the Pleiadians have channeled to me several times that we're going to have a thing called quantum education and quantum learning. They've already talked about on the Galactic Federation. They talk about
I'm
quantum
learning how to do
computing,
quantum charts right now, quantum birth
but
charts.
quantum learning, like as far as like space and off into it, there's something with that LSD kick with the flashing lights and the blinking plasma and a word on it, and maybe giving like 5 minutes, set aside 5 minutes in a classroom time to have them look into something like that that's blinking all kinds of consciousness through multi dimensions to them in this plasma with intent and put out by the creator of it. That
And it's
making
funny
sense?
well,
I
yeah,
probably
because
took
when I
too
was
much
a kid,
LSD when I was a kid. I don't know.
well, when I was a kid and to now, I'm like, damn, you think there'd be more about some holograms nowadays. You know what I mean? Like it would be a bigger thing. And then I realized it wasn't what I was taught to have it be, like Gem and the holograms. I'm like, it already is, but in a different way. Like, whoa, right? And like, so when I got familiar with all the different starseed races, the ones that I found out that I don't get along with are the Asians. I don't like them. Why?
Why not? Why not? They're a little different. I do. I channel.
I
I
don't
could
like
have channeled
birds.
the blue
I love
ones.
birds. Don't like birds. Don't like the avians. Don't
Yeah,
like them.
I
I don't
know
know why.
yeah, Corey originally channeled them. Yeah, I know, and Octavia does a good job channeling them now. But yeah, I had a chance
Well,
to talk at
birds in
Noah
real
all those
life
years
don't like
ago.
me. Anybody
But
that
the
has a
yellow,
bird, it will attack me.
I have a collective called the Yellow Avians. They came through me like 3 times. They're from Cygnus too. Yeah, they're
My
okay.
number one
They're
sign is
different.
birds.
Yeah,
The birds in the
I've heard
sky.
another sister say that too. That's talked about it. She has this thing with birds like you do. She's a
They hate
Pleiadian
me.
girl too. I don't know about that.
Well, all the birds I've ever come in contact with that are in a cage or even in a fucking in San Diego when we went to the zoo and it was like the bird area, they were all coming to get me and I had to run out. They were like, birds, birds. They were trying to get me. I'm like, what the fuck?
Maybe they were trying to help you get rid of some fucking energy you had attached to you or something. That's what I
The
think
sky right
personally.
now, like I count on birds to give me signs. They're my number one thing to show me signs, and that it's like the most love hate thing that there is. I'm like, because I don't believe birds should be in cages anyway. So what the fuck? But yeah, I don't really, I don't know, and like I don't get along with the Atlanteans. My oldest son, is a straight up fucking Atlantean. He's fucking Sheldon Cooper, and he's like, I am the crystal. You don't need that stuff. Shut up, Tyler. Like me and my son, but he understands. He gets. He's different. He when he was a kid, he said from Mars. So like he's the only one of my kids that actually understands what I'm talking about. What? I always thought that, like the Atlanteans, the Atlanteans thought they were better than us. Why do they think they're so much better? They're
I
like the
know all that.
Koreans.
I know. I was here. I know it was the only other time I was on Earth. Well, I was
They're
Pleiadian
like
here
the
to try to
Koreans.
settle
The
that.
Koreans think they're better than all the other Asians. They're like the Koreans of
I
fucking
wouldn't.
starseeds.
Well, yeah, I know. I wouldn't lump anybody into one category. It's just a perception we have
Well,
because maybe
Southern California Koreans in Koreatown. They think they're
Jesus.
better than all the different Asians. Because when I lived in California, I lived in Little Saigon. I lived in Vietnam, basically in Orange County. So it was all the different Asian communities.
I know,
and like,
but you gotta understand, they've also been put through a lot of bullshit by white people too.
But I
And you
just
can't
compare them.
fucking
I'm like,
blame
yep,
them.
the
I don't
Atlanteans
blame
are
you.
the Koreans. I just connect them like that. That's how I correlate them.
I'll say this geographically.
Based on my Korean experience in California.
Well, geographically, you're right as far as where Atlantis was and stuff like that. It's stretched over into there.
Just their personalities, because in all the Asian communities, the Koreans are like, they think they're better than, they look down on all the other Asians.
Listen to what you're saying though. They think they're better. They think they're better. Who you mean some of them do, right?
I've traveled. Well, I've went to Koreatown many times, and they're snooty. In Southern California, the Koreans are snooty, and they just think they're better than Vietnamese, and Vietnamese are shit, and Laos are shit, and Chinese are shit, and they're better. That's just how they are.
You mean you're talking about the elitism within their own race, right? Like, okay,
and it's like, you
well,
guys
that
are all Asian. Why do you hate? The other Asian countries don't hate y'all. It just baffles me. I don't understand
because they have history, honey. They have history. All those countries have history with each other too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They all have history with each other. So it's something deeper than that. It's not because
and it's
Joe
just
white girl
their
like you from your
energy.
town.
And I guess going to California, I didn't know I could read energies back then. I was just 17, 18 years old. I was not woke then at all. But I guess all those experiences, like my experiences in my life, I can like correlate, like, damn, maybe I was channeling and I didn't even fucking know it. You know what I mean? Because I was out there. I was always out there
I
with all different races.
know. And once you're going to be wonderful, once we can get you slowed down into about fifth gear, we're going to get you fine. But I mean, really, there's a lot of shit coming at you and you're processing. And it really is exciting to see because you've only been in the Starseed thing about 3 years. And I remember back when I was younger too, man, it is really fucking fascinating. It sounds like with you, because you're coming at it in a newer era than I have, where there's more shit coming too. Like you have access to shit I didn't. So that's just how it goes.
The Martians.
The kids will the next time around will too. You it's the energies that are flowing, free flowing, and we evolve, and it gets easier and easier, and you got a lot of. But then on the other hand, you got a lot of shit coming at you too.
Years ago, when I would go out in public, I'd be like, "Oh my god, that's a tall gray." Look. Kids would be like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Never mind." Oh my god, I could recognize them, and they'd turn away, and they wouldn't look at me, like you know what I mean? Like I saw
I saw one once. I thought that. That's it though.
You know, just out in public here and there, and then they disappear, like they go sideways like the fairies. I'm like, where did he go? He just disappeared.
Yeah,
you know what
I
I mean?
have one experience like that.
Prove that my shit was real, just like when I was learning magic, all this crazy magic shit was happening to prove that, there's your sign, this crazy magic stories, just like crazy Starseed stories. And then I'm just like, then I learned more about them, and I want to know who's like, there's such good reputations, bad reputations for these, the tall grays, the short grays, these guys, and whatever. And I'm just like, they're all my homies to me.
Yeah,
Everybody's my friend.
You really have went down a series of rabbit holes, haven't you?
Oh yeah, and it's just
my
like,
God, good God, girl. Yeah, but I know, but
yeah, and I don't
but you've made the most of it though. But you're making the most of it. I know. Well, you don't need to really fucking know, because every now moment you're ever going to be in, your gut will tell you what you're going to rely on your gut. I mean, I wouldn't go looking to associate with shit like that that thinks darker. It's whatever the fuck you think. Hey, you're in control of that, your own matrix, everybody's in your own matrix. From me to that guy that waves at you down the street, he's in his own matrix, but yet we're blending together.
Right.
You can't just the label. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to go associate with a fucking bunch of grays, but I mean, I wouldn't mind it if they were cool. I'd be cool. But I mean, yeah, that's what I go by. There's human-looking people that are just as feisty.
Aura, they're an NPC, but like I can tell when their auras are bright and when their auras are dark. Like I can tell if somebody's in a bad. I can just see the colors.
Yeah,
I've
you know
always been
what?
able to do.
But and what it comes right down to with that is really, when you get past the good or the bad, it's just energy, right? You're just picking up on their energy. It's just energy, and it doesn't mean it's not necessarily a good or bad thing, but it's who
I
you'd
was
want
able
to
to
vibe with
hone
or
in that
associate.
and not absorb it. It took me 3 or 4 years to be able to. I used to absorb it, and then I was able to put my Glenda the Good Witch bubble around it to repel the negativity and not absorb that shit, dude. Like I said, fine tuning channeling skills, fine tuning, boundaries, shit like that. I mean, it's not nothing new to me to do that. Like it's crazy. It's like, oh, they just bounce right off. Yeah, they do, because I don't got no time for that bullshit. Like, don't come at me with that dumb shit. I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I hear you totally. You just you got to stand your ground and just, and they get the point real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, they try it sometimes, but you know what I mean?
There's nobody. And I know.
Everybody is a soul.
And I'm so sarcastic. And my words, I'm so good with my words that I can just make them just fucking not even want to talk to me. And they don't even come near me. I'll see somebody with a negative energy, like if I'm at the store or something, and then I'll just put on my force field, and they just turn around and walk away. They don't even try to.
Hey, let me hit you with a scenario. Have you ever had anything like this happen? Dig this. I have a few times. Have you ever been in line somewhere and somebody will just, friendly start a conversation with you? And
all the time.
No, but listen. But then they ask you a kind of not a real odd question, but a little different question, and you give them an answer that maybe you wouldn't think they wanted to hear, or it is something they didn't want to hear, and they don't know how to respond. It's like they're programmed or something.
Yeah.
Have you ever had anything like that happen? Do you know what I mean?
If they correct you and say, no, it is evening time, whatever, then they're in.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good, that's a good point. And why I ask that, and please, people understand.
They're programming.
I'm not even. Yeah, that's your thing. And I'm not even that dude that goes down the rabbit hole with that stuff, even though it's real. I'm not even that dude.
Normal people be like, it ain't even morning, dork. You've been working so long, you don't know if it's day or night. That's us.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. It's their response. It's algorithms and
oh my god, and they would walk in goodwill. You would see the NPCs. They'd walk in goodwill, and they didn't even have a look on their face, and they wouldn't look at anybody, and they'd barely smile, and they wouldn't even buy nothing. Then they'd walk back out and disappear. They're like fillers. Like you go somewhere and then all of a sudden the cars come and you're like, God damn, glad I got here before the line got to me. You ever had that? That's just people like to make it seem real.
But now you're talking about, isn't it an interesting paradigm though? Because it is real, but yet you know that a lot of people that go down the rabbit hole with it get all freaked out and then they get paranoid about it. So you got to keep it. It sounds like you're keeping it. You got to keep it in perspective if you're going to go there.
Yeah, true that.
And yet at the same time, it's nothing that you could ever in a million years go prove in a court of law. So you know what I mean? So it's like one of the things
some GTA 5 fucking NPC shit. They're just there. I wish we could just beat them up and punch them and walk away.
And we don't even know. You don't even really know why they're like shadow people. I mean,
no,
they may be even trying. They just may be at a level. Well, I don't know, but they just might be at a level where that's what they do, and it's not necessarily to fuck with us, even though they're in our reality.
Data. They're just gathering data from something.
Well, okay, but right, good. I mean, they probably are. There are accountants in space, but what I'm saying is
controlling that. Somebody's got the puppet strings to these niggas.
What exactly? And it could be somebody, a god, a creator god that's egotistical, right? Like, we've had them before, right? But they deal with low vibration shit. What I'm saying is these people are easy. Just don't fuck with them. Fuck around with them.
Yeah, do they go to do all the NPCs go to a random empty house? Because I'd be passing by houses and some houses don't even have like nothing on their walls and shit, and they're like empty, dark houses. I'm like, that's where the NPCs are plugged into their charging ports for tomorrow.
It's called a trap house, but in my part of the hood.
Oh yeah, no, the NPC trap. No, but I don't know. That's why I don't like going out in the wild that much because I don't know. And then I thought to myself the other day,
you hit on something. Yeah, see, I got into this paranoid kick about 10 years ago where I live and shit. That okay, forget about the homeless and the tweakers and the gangsters and the people right. But there's an underbelly society even below them that's in the woods. It doesn't show its face. Well, because we got a lot of woods here. So if it were in a bigger city, they wouldn't have a lot of woods to go to.
But a being or a monster or an invisible being pushed me down when I was taking a shit in the Umpqua Mountains. I was taking a shit. And something pushed me and almost pushed me down the mountain. And
this is the first time here.
I freaked out because you can't just go to a bathroom when you're up in the mountains. You got to shit where you're at.
I think everybody gathered. Yeah, we probably already assumed that listening audience.
Pushed me down on the ground. I almost rolled off the side of the mountain.
Ladies and gentlemen, the opinions in the discussion by our guests do not necessarily reflect the view of the staff.
I'm not advocating
or Pleiadian Starseed.
Yeah, they're only based on my experiences in my life, based on my personal experiences. It doesn't mean they're fact. Doesn't mean this is for entertainment purposes only. This call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance purposes. This is an attempt to collect the debt by. Oh, sorry, I went into the mini.
She's everything I could ever want to be, and she's everything I could ever want to be, and yet a little more energetic. Yeah, well, okay, yes. Somebody asked real quick, where am I located? I'm located on the southern Oregon coast, overlooking the Pacific Ocean in the United States, Pacific Northwest region. Do I need to get any more specific, Shandy? You think that probably, if they don't know by now? Let's see.
I was reading some of the comments, and let me tell you, since I was a little kid, I've always talked like this. I was Speedy Gonzalez. I write fast. I talk fast. I type fast. I scan when I read. I mean, that's just me. That's just who I am, no matter what. Even if I'm super baked out of my mind, I still am.
I know you only know 100% mode, don't you? You don't know any other mode to go.
Yeah, and if I'm quiet, people are like, "What's wrong with you? Are you all right? Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah."
I bet you're like that. I bet if you're quiet, there's something weird going on with you.
Oh my God, they're worried. And if I don't
Oregon is gorgeous. Hold on, Oregon is gorgeous. I've lived here my whole life. Shandy actually in Iowa lived out here for a while too, and she can attest to that. Whether you're on the coast, the high desert, Oregon is beautiful. But please don't tell her that we don't want them all moving here. Shandy was bad enough moving here.
If you want to hide out, you can go.
There went the neighborhood. There went the neighborhood when she moved to Douglas County.
Bro, you want to go off grid? That's the place to go. I know we're gonna find you for years.
Angela, you lived in Coos Bay, really? No shit. What a coincidence. Where are you from? I mean, you're not from locally here. I mean, how would you find this podcast?
Hey, what street did you live on in Coos Bay? The trailer. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, we're getting the Coos Bay dirt here, man. From 411, man, on the hood. Ghetto by the sea.
Oh, when we lived in the trailer?
Yeah.
We got plenty of them here.
They live. Okay, look, my brother and sister. I lived with them for a month. South Empire Boulevard, right there by the.
Oh God, yeah. Oh fuck, are you kidding me?
Oh
no, you didn't live in Bayway. Did you guys live in Bayway Trailer Park?
Yeah, they did.
Oh
but
my fucking God!
I came from Roseburg for a month.
I grew up down that street. Fuck, dude, I know that trailer park was a big
across the street. I would take my daughter, and
we had a business going with them.
Yeah, it was fun for a while, and then I went back to Roseburg. Mm-hmm. But
Oh, do you?
like I said,
I
it's
thought you
beautiful.
said
Like,
you were over on. Yeah, the way you described Coos Bay to me, you're like that road going out of town. I thought you were talking about 101 over on the
you know what
other
I'm
side
talking
of
about?
town.
'Cause
But
it's like on the
I
edge.
know, but you know what, Coos Bay, I'll tell you what the problem with Coos Bay, if you're not from here, is it's spread out like a big fucking city. We're the largest
Yeah.
deep water port between Frisco and Seattle. We should be like we should be have almost 1 million people or hundreds of thousands. The areas there, it's spread out. If you're over in
So
downtown Coos
spread
Bay
out.
coming through, and you're trying to explain to somebody how to get to the beach, man,
Good
they
luck,
didn't have it. Yeah, fuck, dude. When I was in high school and managed at McDonald's, man, I was like, people come,
man.
tourists come through there. I'm like, dude, look.
Dude, my
All I can
brother
tell you
would
is
just
you got to
go
go.
around and
You go
around.
down this
Where are you
street,
fucking going?
yeah, and probably not even get out of the
And
other
next
side.
thing
And
you
then
know,
there's a
you're
big
coming out
long
of a
stretch.
cave down here, and then you're over here, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And then the ocean's like 40,000 feet down off this cliff, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Why are there crows and fucking pine trees?" By I freaked out. I'm like, because I'm used to Southern California
Why?
ocean, and I'm like,
Well,
"Whoa,
fuck, dude.
whoa."
I haven't
There's
even been out. You know what? Listen, I live about 15 minutes in traffic in rush hour from all those beaches. I haven't, and I could go any fucking day I wanted to, all the time. I have access. But you know what? I don't. I haven't been to the beach since 2008. I haven't been to that motherfucker in
well,
over
then when I
6
come
years.
out there, we'll go together, and I'll show you how I
Yeah,
can
I know. But you
control.
know what I tell
I'll
people?
show you how I can look. I'll show you how
I'll
I
go
can
out there.
control.
You don't got to
Look,
show me shit. I grew up out at those
how we
beaches.
I'll teach you how to control the waves.
Oh, fuck all that. But listen, what I'm saying is this: I'd go out there, but I just don't. I've been there, done that. It isn't like people from the Midwest have gotten
Well,
really
I go there and
consistent
get
to tell them that.
I go to the well, when I lived in Southern California, I went to the beach every day because I get therapy from there. That's where I get the ocean therapy from my ocean goddesses and stuff.
This girl lived by Walmart in those little apartments. I know where she's at. My homeboy used to go over there to. Yeah, he used to go score rock over there. Um,
So
and I'm not
funny.
talking about Crystal. Well, I mean, I'm talking about Crystal in a way, but not crystals like you'd see at a metaphysical shop, in the front.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so,
I
so,
know. When we
so,
passed by
so,
that hotel, my brother's mom's like, "Don't look at them. Don't look. Don't make eye contact. Just keep walking." They come out like fucking zombies. Like, oh, where'd they all come from? No, just keep
I know
walking.
they'd wish they had some of the shit you were on as fast as you
This was
go.
2017. This
Naturally.
was 2017 when I was there.
Yeah, but goddamn, dude, you go fast. You don't need any of that shit. You go so fast.
No, not at all. I
Yeah,
had
hey,
mania. Why do you
we've
think I
got
prescribed all that Xanax?
we lived Bayway for a couple of months. Okay, what time frame was that, Angela? Can you give us a time
It was
frame? No, not you,
it was
Goofy. The good
oh
person, Angela,
oh
in the chat
she's
room with
right,
you. In
she's
there.
right there out in the other room. She's in the other room right now.
Oh yeah. Forget it. Yeah. Angela
I'm like,
here
you
lives
just
at
said
Bayway
your
too.
name. I'm not
Is that
I'm not
her?
reading the comments. I don't read the comments. I'm not. That'll distract me.
Oh my God, you know this person. This person is okay. This was too much of a
She's right
fucking coincidence.
outside in the living room. My sister.
Yeah. She's chatting here.
That's who I know. I don't read the
Hi,
comments. That's who I live
Angela.
with.
Is there anything personal you'd like the nation and the rest of the continents to know about you? What is your favorite TV show, Angela? What kind of TV shows do you like to watch? You like crime dramas? You like comedy? Do you like Law and Order SVU? I mean, do you like any of that shit? NCIS? You like Golden Girls? Let me throw a bunch of shit out there from random. Let's see. Have you ever found yourself watching a marathon of Golden Girls once in your life? Tell the truth. Come
I
on.
have to watch Golden Girls at night. It comforts me because me and my mom used to watch it.
Yeah, thank you for being a friend. Yeah. I know.
And they're
Travel down the
savages.
fucking
Them
back.
bitches don't play. They don't play.
Oh, I know they don't. They're all hot too, dude. I always liked the older women. Like I've told you, growing up in the late '80s, early '90s, my buddies were into like Shannon
Yes,
Doherty
you're
and
gross.
Madonna and Paula Abdul. I was into like Hillary Clinton and shit, and Nancy Pelosi and older women like that,
Weird.
really that were smart and distinguished. I know. So I think all the women are hot except for no, I think actually only one of them I thought was. I always had a crush on Blanche when I was a kid growing up.
Well,
When I was
Blanche is
a kid.
obviously she's got her pheromones on a million.
Yeah, Dorothy looks like this lady Barbara Stanwyck that was on Big Valley.
She's lesbian. That's why she looks like a man.
Yeah, and I don't watch TV. I haven't watched it in years because I can't stand it. But I used to be a junkie when I was a kid. Stargate
My
one's good.
grandma
Yeah,
used to wear fucking Dorothy's Bornat clothes with the fucking shoulder pads and shit.
I know. Jesus, ready? Yeah, she's ready to go play middle linebacker for the goddamn 49ers. I
I know,
know.
right? For sure. My great
Yeah,
grandma reminded me of Sophia too. My great grandma was just
you
like
know
her,
what
dude.
though? That breaches into another thing because like women have had two DNA upgrades, and I've done all the research on this. One in the 50s, there was one done in the early 90s, but that was both to men and women in the early 90s. And women now all look really good. And the thing is, like on a physical standpoint, because their DNA has been upgraded, their cheekbones are more accentuated. They look young. A woman now that don't even fucking want to take care of herself, dude, she still looks 10 years younger when she's older than a lot of women did. Back in the
Yeah,
80s,
my grandmas
90s,
and my
especially
grandma,
the
they look
70s.
old as shit.
Yeah,
They were like in their
terrible,
30s. I'm like,
terrible.
how do they
Yeah.
look so
Oh,
old?
I'm
The
not going to get in.
hairdos.
I'm not going to get into it here, but I've done extensive hours and hours and hours of research trying to keep denying what I'm finding. And, it's true. It happened in the mid 50s. It happened the first time to women, a DNA upgrade. But then there was little ones every decade. And then another big one happened in the 90s. And now these kids get one about every 10 years. These kids get another bun that are born with twice in a generation. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, because I'm not human. That's why. Have a good day.
Well, I'll tell you real quick how I found all this shit out, and it was staggering. I was looking through my mom's 1967 yearbook when she graduated. Okay, and then my cousin, I call her my aunt, was over too at the time, and she had hers from the same high school in '73. And I was just perusing through, looking at the classes, looking at what the ladies' hairstyles were back then and shit like that. And okay, they're little, they had
Right.
changed, right, but that wasn't it. And I just kept, what the fuck is
Was
it?
it the Mary Kay makeup?
Their cheekbones were more accentuated. When you see them in full
Right.
pictures, and they had nicer, rounder asses. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to get graphic,
Right.
but seriously, they're
Right. It is true.
bigger booties, like their accentuated cheekbones, lips, eye shape, the eye fucking shape,
And then
and
everybody dressed
it
all
wouldn't matter,
beautiful
and
and
it wouldn't matter
shit.
so much. It wouldn't matter so much the color of their eyes, because whatever the color of their eyes was, it was more of a translucent, tiny little bit looking than the generation before. So, but that I didn't see because it was black and white. But then I found that out later in my research about that. So then I kept pouring over all these yearbooks. I went to the library, got all these high schools from all over the fucking country, and started
Just to
looking at
compare.
yeah, and I made sure, and I have to tell people, it wasn't the fucking hairstyle. Yes, there was a pretty radical change from that last to the doo-wop era into that free-flowing
Into the
Farrah
hippie
Fawcett
area.
70s hair.
Yeah, when they all started ironing their hair as opposed to beehives and shit.
Yeah, exactly. But see, then because I'm very analytical, so I asked myself, okay, Larry, is that affecting your judgment at all as far as what you're thinking, that hairstyle? And no,
It's the
not
evolution.
fucking at all. No, not at all, man. They could have all been looked like Sinead O'Connor, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, you know what I mean? Nothing would compare to that. Yeah, fuck that
My
song.
grandma and I came from a very, very powerful female generational family. And my grandma and my
Me
great grandma
too.
were always beautiful. They always were done up to the nines, going out and getting drunk at the Ambets, going bowling with their Mary Kay makeup and their they were drinkers and smokers and they were alcoholics and they were out there playing horseshoes, fish fries, grandmas, you know what I mean? All pretty, 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 pretty.
Yeah, yeah. And what was so funny was that the research I did. There was one. Hold on, there was one woman in that class of '67 though that looked like the girls from the '70s. There was one, and it was my own fucking mom of all people. But that would make sense. I'm an only child. They
But
weren't even
my
supposed to have
grandma and
kids.
great
She's a
grandma all
Taurus.
wore
My dad's
makeup.
a Leo. It's a
My
Pleiadian
mom
thing.
never did. My mom never did. She never wore makeup. She had beautiful blue eyes
Yeah.
and awesome eyebrows, but she never wore makeup. I always thought she was lesbian. She had like the flip do,
what,
hippie feather
what
hair,
does that
whatever.
got to?
And she's
Oh
just so
yeah.
masculine, she's just so hardcore. And she never wore makeup, never got dressed up, always wore sweat outfits. She like broke the generation, like and she never drank. So like she was never like grandma and great grandma and great great grandma because they were a whole different type of person. And my mom was born in '64 and she partied, she fucking drank and partied with the hippies, you know what I mean? Like in the '70s. And so
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
and she never drank and she got pregnant with me at 15 and she stopped drinking. But she's continued to smoke weed until she died, even in the hospital room. But like, yeah, so like she is different than them. You know what I mean? Like she didn't go bowling or play horseshoes. She just went to the fucking kegers and the goddamn parties in the woods and fucking got drunk and wasted and you know how they do.
Yeah. No, I've never. I wouldn't. No,
I was created at the Sand Pits down the
I
way.
would. I have
It's
no
called the
idea.
Sand Pits.
I've
Well,
never
it's
been.
down here.
Yeah,
Midwestern Sand Pits down here by the junkyards, the
Yeah,
river rafts is what they
I've
call them.
never, I can't resonate with that at all. Oh no,
Well, like
God.
a little, I know. When I came back to Iowa, I cried because the water was chocolate and the trees were broccoli. And like, no, it's just like a little, a little forest area where they went and had kegers back in the day and like where I was conceived. But
What's wrong with it now? Did it get overrun? What do do you
yeah,
describe?
no, they just, the cops just, after the '70s and '80s, the cops just
Yeah.
kind of shut it down. That time was over. Now it's like a preserved park where you can go and just see the little lakes and like you can sit there and have a
Oh yeah.
picnic and go
Well,
on the little walks. It's all
wonderful.
nice and redone and everything, you know what I mean? Like, but I can show you where
Mhm.
I was. Yeah, that time was just
Yeah,
over, you know what I mean?
I'm sure that people really give a fuck about Nowhereville, Iowa. Not to be offensive, but yeah. Good
Yeah,
conversation. Sure.
but that's where I was created, down there in the
Mhm.
pits.
Down there. Oh, that's
My mom didn't give it up for a year, and the first time she gave it up,
so
here
you.
I come.
So you were telling me she gave for the first time she ever gave up the booty. It was in a fucking pit down there, and that's how you were
Oh,
conceived.
Hell yeah, a year after
Is
she
it?
got with my dad. She made him wait a year.
Oh, good God! In that era,
Yeah.
everybody was that era in that time. What the fuck? You were born? Well, no, you were born in the '80s. It was still,
I was born December of 81,
yeah,
almost
yeah.
82, but yeah.
Still, yeah, but still. I mean, I was thinking it was the early '70s or mid '70s, like me or some of these
No, but
people.
I was very
50s.
influenced by my dad in the 70s and the music and the fucking all the old TV shows I had to watch and all that dumb shit. So I was very well
You-
rounded when it came to the different generations. My
yeah,
mom and her
well,
80s music, her REO Speedwagon and all that type of shit,
yeah,
Place to
yeah, yeah,
Travel
yeah.
and Take
Oh yeah,
Bong
yeah.
Hits and just fucking yeah. And I sat in front of the TV and watched Beavis and Butthead and got contact highs, and then when I was
Right.
13, I was out the dope. I was grown. Bye.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my good Lord,
I was
Lord.
always a gypsy, so I always was like, let's go. Fuck it. Kids, no kids, let's go. Let's go. I never was scared to go. I was
Oh
like
wow,
Moana, the West Coast calls me,
wow. I
it's
don't even
whatever.
know.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
you
me.
ever conceived in a pit? It was, it's funny in bringing that up. I was talking with Carolyn in private, my co-host, not too long ago, and she was talking about her parents, and she was born in 1968, right? And so the time frame with pit, 1967 was the summer of love, and I told her, well, gee, Carolyn, we know what your parents were doing during the summer of love, 'cause-
Yeah, my mom
yeah,
was 3
yeah, yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ!
when I'm done. It's still on.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Oh God,
yeah.
really? God, no. I know. Isn't it funny how time goes?
Yeah.
Did you say your mom was only 3 in 1967?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, dude, she's only 11 years. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
My
God,
mom had
people
me
that
at
are
6.
boy, people must feel old that can remember the 1960s.
I guess. I don't fucking know. My dad graduated in 78. He's
Did he?
65 now. Yeah, he
Fuck,
still
dude,
has the
mine
long hair.
mine were like in the mid 60s, dude. Wow.
Damn.
Well, damn, yeah. Well, damn. What do you mean, damn? What do you mean, damn for them? What do you mean?
What year were you born?
1975.
Oh, a year after my Vietnamese baby daddy.
Oh yes, because he, same era, kind of. But I mean, there's quite a fucking difference in our two eras as far as technology and shit goes. As far as we kind of are passing through it to it, you're kind of at that beginning of that next wave of, and kids being born and shit from the Blu-rays
Yeah,
into the
and I'm
crystals
glad
and
I'm
into
glad
the
I was raised around old school hippies though. That way I got to know like
yeah.
the past too. I wasn't just like influenced by the futuristic
Me
people. They
too.
were like
Me
old
too.
school.
Yeah, you were into like
Unconventional
older
childhood.
shit.
Like I
Yeah,
would yeah,
music and shit, right from that era and from the past too that your parents might have
yeah.
listened to. Yeah, yeah,
And
right, right.
MTV was life, bro. The radio and MTV doing it because
I,
I'm like a writer
I
too.
know.
I used to write down the lyrics and fucking I was in my own
We had it the first night it came on air. It was my 6th birthday in 1981 where cable system picked it up, and so that's all I watched. I didn't watch cartoons growing up. From the time I was 6 on my 6th birthday, it was fucking MTV for about a decade, and then it kind of got out
MTV
of it.
was the shit. That was my shiznit.
Well, it was 24-hour videos, and they haven't had 24
Up
hour
until
videos
like
since the 80s.
94, and then I went and lived my
Yeah,
life in the outer world.
right, right. Well, that's when I graduated high school. Was 94.
I was in 7th grade. That's when I actually like spread my wings and just went and did what I wanted to because I wasn't responsible for babysitting my mom's friends' kids anymore. I was in middle school, still going to school, straight A student, but I was still partying with grown ass motherfuckers.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Totally, totally. People of all ages, but
And then
mostly
you
older
grow up and
people.
they're like, "You want to go
Yeah,
party?" I'm like, "Bitch, I was partying before you were born. I got 4 kids at home. I got to go home." I know I look amazingly young and beautiful, and I look like I'm in college, but at that time I was like, I'm 30 something. And they're like, "What?" Now I'm like, I'm
yeah.
43, almost 5 grandkids. What? I'm like, "Yep, I'm
It's
not
not
deep."
uncommon. It's not uncommon for starseed women. They can look even into their like 70s. I know one that looks
Yeah,
like she's about 44.
yeah. My great grandma had her red hair till she died, and she died at 98. Yeah, for sure. It's all in my family. Like I think it runs in my
Well,
family too.
you have some good genetics too. I mean, I do too. I have mostly Scandinavian. I'm about 3/4 when it's all added up Scandinavian heritage. So it's good genetics to have too. And plus, people live longer now. And well, they look. I don't. Their health ailments aren't any really better. It's just that they look physically. Their body is physically had a DNA upgrade. You know what I mean? Um,
Strong.
and so they look younger. I mean, it wasn't just the styles. I know the styles were from being fucking fucked up in the Leave It to Beaver days and before that and all that shit. But it wasn't just that. There's humans. This DNA structure has changed in their bones and their features and shit like that. And the evidence is, if it wasn't that, the coincidence of it all would be fucking beyond the goddamn measuring stick of improbability in the universe.
What'd you say?
Well, I was just talking nothing. I was just talking about how the DNA upgrades are so obvious that have happened, and it's not just the styles to the women, their bone structures and everything. And I said, and if that wasn't the case, then it's one of the most improbable fucking coincidences in the cosmos ever that all this, like all the research I've done and observed and the differences in generations. And it's not just that fucking people looked frumpier then or that the makeup wasn't as good
I
or the
know
hair.
it was a little different.
Beyond all that
Style
bullshit.
and shit.
Beyond all that bullshit, though, forget all that shit.
Their actual avatars.
Yeah. Fuck all that. I don't give a fuck if they were wearing a goddamn,
It's just their
garbage
actual
can.
bodies, their avatars. You're talking about. Not anymore. Uh-oh, he disappeared. Look at the glitch. See it? It's not supposed to do that. He disappeared. It disappeared. He left.
Well, and I'm back. Oh my God, the spirits took me away.
Dude, when you came back, it said 11411.
Yeah, well, this video I posted the other day, this audio, this music kind of thing I composed to some shit people liked. It had 144 likes as of today when I got in there just to look at that, and I was like, I timestamped it in the comment section, 144 likes. So yeah, all kinds of crazy shit. But I don't make anything. It is what it is, dude. But it isn't like fucking. I'm not going to be all weirded out by it because I've seen this shit for years. It just means that.
I remember you told me if you disappear, give you 1 minute to come back.
Yeah, I know. I told you that. I said I know. I told her if it ever happens, give me 1 minute to get back in.
I remember.
And the thing is, it almost took longer because I didn't copy paste it to my private message to myself like I usually do, and I had to go to where I sent it to you on email. I had to go there, go to the sent items real quick, and hit it, and get back in here. Otherwise, dude.
I wonder if they can still hear me.
Yeah, they said, oh, yeah, it'll be taped. Whatever you said is still on because you're still on the broadcast. Yes, this is kind of a learning curve.
Okay,
people.
well, listen about 113 minutes in, and I'll be like, he's gone. He said, wait. That's what I'll say to myself. I'm like, I wonder if you guys can hear me.
I could hear you saying because I was thinking, I told her 1 minute. I told her, wait 1 minute. If I ever get kicked out, wait 1 minute. I tell people that don't.
Aren't
just
you proud of
out.
me? I remembered that.
Yeah, I didn't know if you would. I was sitting there thinking too, and I had keep in mind I was only gone like about I don't know how long, but I had all that shit running through my head and thinking about it. I felt like it was yeah, running through. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was a one-hit wonder Russian group. These two girls. Yeah, you know what? I was gonna use. I don't know, but I was gonna use it for a bumper one time. That song, and so but I remember when it was big. It was sort of after I was out of high school. It was like in the later 90s. I did too. I did too. I did too. Do you remember Yaki Da by these other two Russian girls a few years before that? Yeah, well, I have that on. I put that on the Orbs page and it got
I forgot about that song.
Yeah, I did too for 20 years, and then it came back to me because it was big when it was on the radio a lot. It was on the radio a lot. Then it was done. Then it was just done.
Am I right? Am I right?
Totally.
That's all I know.
Yeah, me too.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
Send me that. If that memory clicked, then.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't remember any other part but that.
Oh, I could do the whole song, but yeah, we're not going to do it on here. I've used it as a bumper, but yeah, I'll send what I'm talking about to you. No problem. Any more
I'm glad that I remembered that. You just access file cabinets is what I call it.
Yeah.
And honestly, everything that I've learned and what I've learned and what I've known is everything you learn, you don't learn it, you just remember it. And at the end of the day, I need to get off here though, for real. I'm gonna
I do too. It's been late. Started over. Listen, do you have a clock up there? How long have we been going? No, just real quick.
True Magic 117:13.
Okay, go for it. Go hit it. Okay.
Oh, and at the end of the day, true magic is mind power.
Mm-hmm.
And then also
or technology.
What else can I leave them with? Okay, today is yesterday's tomorrow. Was it really that bad? And in 2 days, tomorrow will be yesterday's. So don't even trip. And also, everything is a matter of opinion, and it is up to you whose fucking opinion matters. That's all.
Beautifully said. Well said. Yeah, and of course, why don't you just tell them real quick again where they can find you? A couple places where you're at on, what social media platforms you're on and stuff like that. How they could find you wherever you're at.
Can I type or can they only type?
No, you can type too. You should be able to comment down there, but I mean, you could comment it to them and type it in the link. But I'll put the link in the description of
Okay,
this
yeah.
show. But why don't you tell people where it is too?
It's just
Yeah.
basically to learn about me and to know about like what I do and all of whatever. It's my Facebook groups, Clear's Nonsensical Realm, and then the study guides I was talking about earlier is in Clear's Nonsensical Shire, and then like I said, you're helping me with the YouTubes, and that's Clear's Nonsensicalness, and that's the name of my page too. You got me back on my fucking page. I don't give a shit about my
Seriously,
page.
and I told you too. This is a good lesson. You listened because I told you to keep them both the same name. Oh, don't
Yes,
deviate from
sir.
your name or
But
another
I
name you're
never
going to
post
get.
from my page. I always post from my own fucking Facebook.
It
I
does.
never go to my page.
Well, that's fine. But you see, the thing is, though, you have it right. I tell all these people, if you're not going to use TikTok, if you're not going to use Instagram and all that shit, or Snapchat, have all that bullshit because you're going to might maybe need it someday if you're going to go into promoting
Well,
yourself out there.
I
But
have the Instagrams, but I don't use it. I deleted
get
my tickety
lemonade, get
talks
it all.
when that
You got to
bullshit
get it all.
happened.
You got to get it
But
all.
I only did the
Lemonade.
tickety talks because I was creative. I tried to go live and make money, but it was a bunch of too much energy. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then it deleted my accounts, and it pissed me off because a lot of my TikToks I only did it for creativity and memory purposes. But then it started copywriting all the music, and I was like, "Fuck you!" And then I started making reels. I only do it. I
Really?
don't know because I'm very creative like that. But it's just
Yeah, I don't.
different. But like,
I don't get into the
so I
energy
do
of these
have a new
places,
tickety
but
talks, but I don't go to it. I just have it so I can check my
yeah.
TikTok.
Well, it's
I
good to
don't have
have
the
them.
chat.
Get them
Okay, I
all.
do have
Get them
chat
all.
snaps.
You're gonna
I
have to
have the
get
chat
them all.
snaps. Yeah, I have the chat snaps, but I only go on there to look at my kids' stories.
Yeah, I don't even fuck with it. I just post my shit there in
Just
Telegram
so
and
I can
Ruby
see,
chat and
the
all
little
that shit.
stories my kids post about my grandbabies, and then I can, just keep up
Yeah,
with
yeah.
them, Cute. But yeah,
You got me.
I
I
don't
don't even
go
know how
to
to
them.
use it.
I've never scrolled the tickety talks because that's just like changing the channels on
No,
TV. It's
I don't
dumb.
either. I
And
don't
then
fuck with it like that.
I get sucked in and I start seeing a video about somebody coming home from the war and I start crying and it's all emotional. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to watch fucking some funny show. I'm not doing this shit.
Well, yeah, I don't even
Yeah,
know.
it's
I
too
don't even
much,
know.
man. It's too
I
much
don't know.
energy for
I
me.
wouldn't
Can't
even
do it.
know. Yeah, I
No.
don't fuck
And
with it
then
at all.
so like I just be on Facebook and that's pretty much it.
You
And then
know, and
I'll start
seriously,
like
I'll say one thing about Facebook for building the brand. Like I'm trying, like I'm not really trying to do it. It's just something I like to do. But like for her building the brand and shit like that, Facebook, as far as showing your videos and stuff, Facebook is still the best game in town than any of these fucking other
yeah,
outlets.
well, what I've learned over the last
If
5 years
you're going
too,
to
being
be
part of
in
so
this
many
realm,
people's groups and being out there and getting my name out there and helping them with the admin duties, and then they throw me under the bus. And millionaires are not scrolling Facebook, but at the same time, I got my stuff and I got all my credentials right there, and like even my
mhm,
Facebook friends. I've been on Facebook since 2011. I only have 200 friends because I know every single one of them, and every single person in my groups. I don't know them, but I know of them, and I don't have any haters. You know what I mean? So it's like it's
mhm.
all positive. It's all cheerleaders. It's all good for my soul type, whatever. And I just share information, share funny shit, whatever I do. And it's
Yeah,
just, that's what I,
yeah. Well, it's time for you to spread your wings a little bit, though, and with much
I
success
know.
comes a little bit of sacrifice. So you're going to have to accept people that you may have just met on there, but use your discernment when
Right.
you'll know the troll. What's so funny is I love the trolls on there because they really don't even fucking try. All they have is they make some fake account with two friends with or some
Stupid.
chick with nothing but timeline pictures of herself and all her friends are
Stupid.
dudes. I mean, what I mean? It's like
Stupid.
I feel sorry for them. I wish they had I've even tried to help them get a little bit more game, fuck them. Hey man,
Remember
why
the
don't
people
you
like back in the day before computers that just stayed home, never went anywhere, and were weird, and the dirty, stinky people that never went anywhere. And
the
now
dirt
I guarantee all the
that could be
trolls
the shit
online are
one.
still the fat, nasty, dirty, stinky people that just fucking hate their life and they just project out and they just do it just to fucking balance
Well,
the negative and positive in the intro web game. I
how do
don't
you really
fucking know.
feel about it? How do you really feel
I
about it?
I don't pay no mind to it. It's just funny to me because y'all want to comment some dumb shit. You're actually like promoting these people and you're helping them low
I know
key.
that's the way I feel. You're several dimensions and levels ahead of people that would, go like, oh well,
I always do that. Don't
yeah.
get, telemarketing and stuff. Don't get mad at me because don't call me a bitch and get mad at me because you're mad at yourself, sir. Just because you can't pay your bill doesn't mean you need to attack me. sir.
Well,
You know,
yeah, you're a little bit more ruthless than I am. I have a hard time telling people that shit. I feel for
I'm not.
you.
I learned that in
Yet I
telemarketing,
am
man. It made me a
addicted.
savage. Debt collecting, yeah, I got that. I got an award for the most hangups because I called people out so much.
Oh,
You know,
good
get that
God.
money or have them hang up on you. And I'm like, yeah, sir, looks like here you're lying.
Your alter ego on the Starseed
Hey,
by
my
day,
customer
debt
service
collector by
voice.
night. Yeah,
Look,
the
my
debt
customer
collector by
service voice
night.
graduated valedictorian at Harvard. All right, sir. Larry, hi. How can I help you today, Larry? Are you having a good day? Are you interviewing her? It's great. Yes. All right.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
It's
She
great.
comes
See,
she
that's why
comes
I
up for
don't do
air
my
once in a
readings
while.
like that. I'm not that girl. I'm not like, oh my God, you're gonna have an amazing time. I don't read like that. I read like
Really? Well,
like my normal
you
self.
know, but I like to be lied to like that, man. Tell me I'm gonna have a fucking amazing time. Just tell me it's gonna be, yeah, man. Dude, don't,
Gonna be
yeah,
there. Don't worry, your angels are here. Here, I'll bust out my
well,
angel oracle, and they're all positive.
talk
They're all
to, yeah,
positive,
talk
so
to me.
it's a
Tell it to
win-win.
me. Yeah,
Oh, you're
hell,
just
tell it
gonna
to
have a
me.
wonderful balance
I
your
am,
life.
am I gonna
Just
win
make
the
sure you
lottery
balance.
twice?
Are you what?
Or am I gonna win the lottery twice? Yeah, tell me I'm gonna win. I see you winning the lottery twice. Oh,
What
in
are
the
you
next
going to do
7
with that
years.
money when you win? What are your plans with the money when you win first before
Oh,
I
I'm
can make
gonna
that decision?
donate it all to some special
You
cause.
lying ass motherfucker.
Oh, I am. I've got it all doled out. I'm figured out.
I
I'm
would
going to
give it
give
all to my
some
kids.
to the
I'd
needy
split it
children, to
and
the needy children
I'd
of
get a
Burundi,
private jet
Burundi.
and I'd get a private jet and I'd create my own
I would.
shire in Europe and then I'd
That's
let all
because
the cool people live there.
that's because you're selfish. That's because you're greedy. Mine would all go to
Shandy Shire and only the cool cats can get into where
yeah,
we're gonna
because
be.
you're showing your true colors of how greedy you really are. And I would give all my money to the the children's fund of Burundi, Burundi, or some good cause like that, or war torn Angola. Mine would all go to help
Well,
out
I'll
the.
just go back to Nam and give a bunch of money to my kids as cousins
There
and
you
shit
go.
over
I'm
there.
proud of you. I'd give it all away. Give every goddamn dime of it away, and make sure you have it documented how you gave it away, so that we can know. We won't. We don't. We, it's
Tax
not that we
write
don't
off.
trust you. It's not that we don't trust you, mind you, but we want to
I
kind of
need a
see where we're
prenup
going. Oh, those should be a
for sure.
given in a fucking marriage. You know what I mean? Seriously, I don't think anybody should have it. The law
But
should. We
if
should
both
live in a
the
more
people
advanced
ain't got
society where
shit, then what the fuck?
whatever you have. But hold on. But if somebody's dependent on you for an income or something, it's another story where they didn't work and they did just as much in the house. But if, as far as any of the shit that you had coming into it, um, yeah, it's complex. I think there needs to be a lot more limits on who in the fuck can just go into a marriage and sue for shit, especially if you've only been with the person a couple of years. Give me a break. I mean, even if you're using the excuse you stay at home, I mean, give me a break. A couple of years. I mean, come fuck on. But
Yeah,
but over a long haul, you deserve half of
only
that shit.
rich
You
people do
do.
that. I don't know what that means. I'm not rich enough to even think about that
Yeah.
shit.
Well, no, but I'm just saying analytically wise.
What
You
are you
know what I'm
gonna take?
saying?
I'm gonna sign a prenup so you can have my crystals or my tapestries or my
You know,
pillow and blanket, my clothes.
but stop it. But it speaks to the whole conundrum of the problem of the way we do marriage as a society. I love it, and I'm all for two people that love each other and want to bond and have a union together. But this whole thing of the way we look, it's the marriage concept here that because over 50% of people get a divorce. So this fucking till death do us part.
Yeah.
It's not. See, the problem is, I think the bond like that is so wonderful. It's my favorite thing. But the thing about it is, it's this fucking lie we tell ourselves. We can't set ourselves up for that kind of failure, like that kind of
No,
shit.
my mom taught me to never get married, never
Well,
get married, and I never
I'm
have
not
ever
saying
will.
that, but it's the whole institution of it, the way that it's
Yeah.
portrayed.
It's your
You get
opinion.
these shows like Wedding Brides, and these women are like, "Oh my God, it's my day! Don't ruin my special day." If that was going to be the only motherfucking one, I mean, bullshit. But if that was going to be the only motherfucking one I knew you were going to have in your existence, I'd hear you. I'd be right there with your sister, wanting it all,
My
pissed
daughter
and
says she's
go.
never getting married because my daughter said, I'm
And
never getting married, Mom. I want to get married, but if I don't have like 20 million at the most bougie badass wedding, I'm not getting married. Fuck that.
fuck no, yeah, dude, tell her to get, yeah, fucking, they got theirs, tell her to get hers. Fuck yeah, I wouldn't either in this generation or in this
And
era.
it's
Fuck
not the
yeah, girl,
fucking
raise
baddest
above
and
the
most
right. There is
expensive.
no morals,
She ain't
right
gonna
or
do it.
wrong. You go get yours.
Yeah. And so she's very bougie like that. And she's like, and if I don't have like $1 billion to make it the bougiest wedding, then I'm not doing it.
And and keep in mind,
All or nothing, man. Go
I'm
big
not
or go
saying that
home.
because I feel that way that should be done. But Jesus Christ, we live in a time now, and this isn't the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s. I mean, it's a whole nother world for these kids. It's so fuck, dude. Yeah, go get guy. I love her attitude about it because she ain't gonna fucking sit there and give up her life for
She
that
doesn't
bullshit.
settle for less.
It's gonna
That's the
it's gonna
best
be
for herself. She won't
yeah.
settle.
That's a smart girl. It's gonna be well worth her fucking
I call
while.
her Kim
Do it.
Kardashian, but looking through the clothes my daughter gave me. It says, "Oh, I don't drink, just drugs for me, thanks."
Yeah. They told us just to say no. Well, we would have just said no, but we were too busy saying yeah back in those days.
Hey, the only time anybody ever gave me free drugs was in Oregon on
I
Halloween.
say
This
that all.
dude,
Listen,
he
I
gave
know.
me a joint,
Yeah,
and the homeless people would give me weed all the time. I'm like, "You
yeah.
smell good." And he's like,
And
"Here
I
you go,
say
have
that
some
all the
Halloween."
time. We were flooded with
Finally,
commercials when I was growing up where they would say that, hey man, some guy selling drugs in a store and he's like, hey man, the first time it's free. These kids come in here to get bubble gum and I sell them this or I give them this. And then, dude, I never had anybody except, well, I've had buddies kick me down a bag of dope growing up, but I never had some random person trying to get me started or in the neighborhood go, hey kid,
yeah, for
hey,
sure.
the
And it
first
was
time,
just weed. I was like, "That's the
yeah,
first time
well,
anyone ever gave me drug like for free. Like
yeah,
that shit
well,
cost me."
sure. It costs money. That's what they don't understand. Back then, pot was spendy.
Oh,
It cost
so
money.
they're gonna
Of
put
course, we lived in
edibles
like
in
where
your
I lived. We
shit
used to sell the shit
too.
out of it. So I was a dope dealer when I was a kid, selling fucking crack and well, not crack, but meth and pot and LSD and all that shit. So I had a lot of access to it. But you didn't just fucking give. A friend would get you high, or
No,
kick you in a bag of
no, if
fucking
you ain't
a bag
sharing
of crunch.
edibles
But
with kids, that shit is amazing. We love our weed too much and our edibles to even share. No, ain't nobody gonna put that in nobody's kids' candy. What is
Right. Yeah, we knew a lot of people like that too. Right. So yeah, but
that's before the
I
schools
had the
tell you to
fortune of
like
having access to it, or the
wow.
misfortune, all of it. I mean, we were doing all that shit at 14, crank, LSD, mushrooms, pot, like booze. And we're lucky to be alive because for about 2 years we'd roll like that every Saturday and Sunday night and have all that shit, all do all those drugs in one night together. And dude, it was crazy. And we're lucky to have livers. We talk about it sometimes, but we were selling it to a couple of the junior. I shouldn't say a lot of this shit. I'm going to get myself incriminated. I wonder if they have a statute of limitations on any of this shit. This was over 30 fucking, yeah, this was over like fucking
Yeah.
some years ago, dude. I mean, so, but
Hey, no,
when I
I
got
didn't
out
do
of
it.
it,
Nobody saw me do it. Can't prove anything.
no, I know we're
Cameras
lucky. We
then.
joke about we wish we would have had cell phones for our parties back then, take
No,
pictures, take
nope.
video, but then
I'm
again, we know
grateful.
better. It would have caused a lot of problems, a lot of
Bro, I'm
violence. It would have
so
caused a
grateful
lot
there
of
was no
trouble.
camera. Oh my God,
Fuck, dude.
no.
But anyway,
That's why it was so fun, dude. Because nobody fucking knew where you were. Nobody could fucking find you. And it
yeah,
was,
but but shit changes, things evolve. I'm thank God for the internet. I'm glad because it's
oh
opened up
yeah,
a
for
door
sure,
for us to
for
have
sure.
this kind of dialogue, right? So
It's
it's
perfect timing.
yeah, right. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know how the fuck long we've been going, but yeah, it's been good. We'll have you come on again and talk about one of these subjects a little bit more in depthly. We'll feed off of whatever's going on in the community. I mean, of course, light language,
Yep.
has been really the kind of the order of the day in a lot of the deeper discussion groups. Light codes, how it's all starting to mesh
Well,
together.
yeah. I mean, even though I was all over the place.
Everything is channeling. Any information that you get, like whether it was Mark Twain, yeah, him too, Mark Twain writing a book, you know what I mean, or somebody of that nature writing a novel, or it's somebody writing a poem, or somebody writing a song, or somebody's writing a fucking even a script for a really movie that's going to be intriguing, like maybe the
It
first Star
is.
Wars.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's channeled information from either your higher self. Some people ask, is it truer aspects or your just aspects of yourself? Some of it is, some of it isn't. Some of it is, and for somebody like me,
Right.
it's actually
Right.
there's
And
beings
it's
from other
hard to
star
discern
systems that
that,
I
but if you
talk
know
to.
what you're doing, you can tell where the source is coming from. I mean, I can,
Okay.
thank God.
Oh,
But
yeah,
it's
me too.
taken
Me
years, like
too.
I said, over a
Yeah, I was
decade to
born.
fucking
I had it just
get that
happen and
down.
happen to me. I didn't have to put any work into it, but I know that I
Yeah,
understand
I
most people have
did,
it.
and now
Yeah,
I'm
most
good.
people do. Most people do, and but everybody's got their own skills. Like there's most shit I'd have to put a hell of a lot of work into, right? This
Right.
was just something I was blessed. I mean, I did not ask these motherfuckers to come into my
So much
life,
shit
but
was easier. Yes, some things were
yeah,
super easy to learn, and I breezed through them, and
yeah,
some shit I had to go over and over and over
yeah.
and over and over because I was like, "What?" Till I got it.
You don't if it doesn't completely captivate you, but if
Oh yeah, and
you
that's
don't
what I
really
highly
understand it
recommend.
forever. And anybody, like, right, anybody could go ahead and come in and say that, right? But this is with Starseeds, or Pleiadian ones especially, it's an extreme fucking case where it's like that.
Yeah,
If you
and
sit here, you'll know every motherfucking thing and a thing you don't know about it. But if you don't, it's
true
really hard
scholars
to pick up on.
like a desire to
It's
learn, a
so,
quest to learn.
it gives you the complete doldrums to try to learn. It's like where I remember
It is.
doing 3 hour radio a long time ago that was structured, but they say it would be a guest on. I really wasn't into the subject and shit, and it had to go and it was just like, I'm glad I had a co-host for it. It was really, you know, it'd be a little bit much of a drag to get through, right? But if
Right.
it's something I'm into, I'm on the edge of my seat listening, right? Or if the
Right.
story's compelling,
For sure.
for
And
sure, for
everything I
sure.
learned resonated with my soul and shit like
Yeah.
that, you know. So just like it was fun to learn it. Like it is exciting and enjoyable. It didn't feel like a burden, like learning algebra and fucking dumb shit.
Right,
It was like what
right.
I
No,
wanted to learn. And I'm
yeah,
an
yeah,
impeccable
exactly.
student. I'm an amazing scholar and student. That's what I do. That's like what I live for. Like the library is my favorite place. You know what I mean? Like that's what I do. I'm a writer and I'm a scholar. And like you learn something new every day. Motherfucker, I learn like 99,000 things a day,
You
whether I
need
want
to
to.
learn to, you need to learn to channel to organ. If you could just do one thing, if you could just organize all that into like some kind of a structure, though, those things. No, I know you're laughing. Yeah, yeah, right. I know. Quit being
That's why I
such a
got to
Pleiadian.
write it down.
Quit being such a goddamn Pleiadian and start
I
organizing that stuff.
can't.
I mean, dude, quit being such an all over the place Pleiadian.
That's
Put it
why they
all in
diagnosed me with
structure.
mania.
Well, yeah, but so organize all this shit. Put that file cabinet, man. You know, you mentioned that twice. Your file cabinet, manifest that.
I have a bunch of file cabinets. They're all wonky right now.
Well, manifest a really physical form of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
In a
right.
way, so to
Well, I
speak.
used to have my binder and all the different categories and shit, but I lost it among the years.
Yeah.
I'm good
So,
at organizing shit physically in a book and like with writing it down with different sections. I'm a beast at that shit. That's like fucking that shit's fun for me, taking notes and writing shit down. It's weird.
well, yeah. What is it? What next project are you working on for humanity, though? What?
I am actually doing I'm learning how to I'm doing quantum charts. Quantum charts
Yeah,
are
you
the
mentioned
third
that. You
and
talked
final
to Andrew.
chart.
Talk to me a little bit more about that author. Show me. Do you got any material yet? I know you don't want it released out, but do you got anything you can show me?
The book. The girl who wrote about it. I seen an ad on Facebook and she wanted to charge me
Mhm.
$6,000 for a workshop to learn how to do quantum charts. And I did a
God,
sample chart.
I want some of the drugs that woman's taking. Are you serious? Mhm. Yes. I never heard of her.
Well, I like,
Uh,
let me do this chart. What is this chart? And it's
yeah.
like it's an introduction to the quantum blueprint. She wanted to charge me hella money because I got like the first, you know, you put your information and same information as the natal chart, and then but it goes on like things on the and it like combines the
Well, you know, it's probably decent stuff, but I mean, what I'd have to say, she's got a nice little hustle going on there, man.
yeah,
That's a
but see, check it out.
dude.
To get certified, she was going to charge me $1,000 more. Okay, now she
I'm
doesn't,
sure.
you know, I can learn this myself. I'm going to be self-taught. I'm
But
on chapter 2 where I got to write it all down.
I don't have any comment. You think? I mean, I don't have any comment. That yeah, whatever. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? All I got to say is I'm not going to give an opinion, but hey, God love the woman if she can make that kind of money off
Oh
of
yeah,
it.
fuck yeah, that's
God love
awesome.
her.
But thank you for writing this book for me so I could get it for $12
Oh,
and
come
teach
on.
myself, and then be able to do
Yeah,
people's quantum charts, and then I can charge them and make my money off of them, which is
well,
not that much. But then I
let's
can
not.
learn something new.
Yeah, but let's not go there with it. That's her thing, and okay, that's her thing, and fine.
Yeah.
So if
But I'm going to
God
learn
love
it
her, she makes
too,
money
and
off
I'll
it.
be
I
able
don't
to
want to
figure
claim.
out
I don't
people's
know her.
quantum charts. Because
Yeah,
I can
I
figure
don't
out your
know her.
natal chart, your galactic chart, and now I didn't know there was a third one, and it just blows my mind that this is a thing now. It's
We'll put it
amazing
out
that
there.
it never was a thing before. It just came out of nowhere.
When
And
can
so
we
it's like
expect
the
to see
third and
this?
final chart. What?
When can we expect to see something out of this?
I
We
think
want the
it depends on
action.
how much I devote to my learnings, my
Oh, so
learnings.
you're not going to follow through with is what you're
Well,
telling the audience tonight.
yes, I am because I did it with my regular birth chart. You have to learn, you know, how you have to learn the different aspects, the different houses, the different degrees, what this means, what that means. This is a totally different way to do a chart, and it has to do with your like your spiritual purpose in life, not just why you're here, like your regular life. This is more
Oh, they added that's
on
a
a
twist
spiritual
you added
level.
in, or that's a twist that was added in to it.
Yeah, I didn't even know this kind of chart existed, and I'm so happy that it exists, and I'm happy that I'm able to fucking do it myself because I already know how to do charts. It's my thing.
Well, you're going to show us the
Yeah, yeah.
results as soon as you get
Oh
one
yeah.
done. You're going to go ahead and share it with
I'm
the
gonna do my
Starseed
learnings and then
Nation.
figure one up and yeah, and
Yeah.
once I more practice I get with people, then I can be able to do the different things. But I got to
When?
learn the
Yeah,
mechanics.
but can we get a time frame of when this might happen?
What's it, April right now? Within the next couple months,
Oh, really?
I'll be
Good.
done
Okay. So
learning.
are you
I'll be done
telling
with my learnings come summertime.
before summer? So before summer's over, you're going to guarantee that this
No,
shit will be
before
out.
summer starts, my dear.
Oh,
Before
oh,
June
well,
23rd.
God. All right. Before summer starts. So yeah, man, you better hurry up and get busy then, huh?
I will. Then quit talking to
I mean,
me.
take your time, but hurry up.
Quit talking to me then.
Well, I know no shit. You need to get on it. God damn it! You're going to start right after we get off here, aren't you? And I want it. You can film a few
I
minutes
got
of
the
it.
book in my hand. I'm like, God damn you.
Yeah, fucking dude. There's no time like there is no motherfucking time but the now moment. There is nothing but the now moment.
There's no time in the quarantine.
But there are future now moments. But in this now moment, you got you're going to hit this when we get off the air. I don't want to fucking see. If you see everybody listen out there, if you see Shandy Cleer on Facebook, alert me. She's supposed to be studying her manual tonight when she gets off here. If you see her click on anything or see that fucking green light, girl, if we see
She
that green
shares
light
one
above you,
goddamn post. If she
if you're
likes
on
a post or
I
shares
don't
it,
give a shit about that. Even if you're on Messenger and I see that green light above you, I'm sending the green light goblins
let me
after you.
make sure I turn off my fucking active status real quick.
Yeah, I would if I were you. You better. I'm just giving you a little advice.
All
You
right.
better, because now you got to study that all night. Fuck me until daybreak. There, when you're 2 hours ahead of me, until daybreak, there you cannot be on the internet. The green
Like
goblins are going to
4:45 is when I'll be able to pass out because that's after dead time's over. So.
Okay, well,
When
no
they all
more.
leave and shut up.
I'm not kidding you. The orbs are gonna get even pissed. The green orbs are gonna come after you. You better not be on Facebook tonight, and we don't want to see that green status.
Fire the lasers.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm telling you what. Right now, when I post this, if I do, you better not. I better not
Or
see you
what?
come up with a like.
What do you do?
Not till
What are you gonna do?
morning. With the green something, I don't know. I'll put the green orbs will figure it out. They'll come and the avians are gonna come. The yellow avians are gonna come and they're gonna peck at you.
No, a bunch of birds.
They're gonna come peck at you. They're gonna peck and peck and peck till they peck your house down. Yeah, well, but seriously, man, the blue ones too. They're gonna come peck at the roof. You don't like birds?
My
They're
neighbor
coming.
old lady that I saw a bunch of crows take her down in her driveway and killed her.
Well, good. Well, that'll be a lesson to you. They've been alerted too. Don't be on Facebook tonight. I know it's gonna be tempting. Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
Go.
And I mean, yeah, and if you get on there and you're sneaking and you read some shit and you get the urge to comment, remember what I'm telling you, because I know you will. You're impulsive.
Share something with you or tag you in something.
Yeah. Oh, that will be a sure sign of the orbs are coming to get you, and the avians are going to come peck at your house.
The flying monkeys are gonna come get me.
Dude, I'll send them too, dude. I'm telling you what, if you
don't send
get
the monkeys, the monkeys play on your mind.
Dude, well then don't get on there. I'm serious, girl. Don't get on. Everybody that's listening to this, if go back into time, if you hear this later date, if you see she commented on a certain timestamp during the time, go do the investigation and alert us, because we will retroactively bring her up on
it. 12:50 a.m. Sunday.
We're gonna bring her. We're bringing her up on galactic charges of disobeying the Central Command.
Galactic charges, Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, the collective consciousness center of the Milky Way galaxy, the Pleiades.
Are you going to stick an Atlantean on me?
No, we don't. Those cocksuckers are so old they can't even walk anymore. Are you kidding me? The souls are. No, I'm not gonna stick one on you. You have to deal with one anyway. We're gonna give you something. Yeah, we'll have something for you though. So don't try the galactic highway patrol. They'll be monitoring the airwaves tonight and seeing if you're any. And we better not do any other social media either. God damn it! Can't you quit being such an addict?
My phone needs charged anyway, so
good anyway. And quit being such an addict with being on Facebook and stuff.
Don't tell me what to do.
I'm running an intervention for you live on air. You've been on there too. You go on there, and I don't know what you're doing.
Nobody even listened this long to know this.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm telling you, because it's just you, me, and a fence post. Listen, man, I'm telling you, yeah, you really are starting to develop kind of an issue with social media, being addicted to it, and I'm really concerned that you're putting in that much time on there. I myself, I don't do that, but it isn't about me. See, even if I did, it's not about me. It's about you. So we need to be careful how much time you're. I'm trying to give you some loving advice, not condescending. Yes.
It's constructive criticism.
Yeah, the galactic criticism. Yep. Good. So good. So you can
telemarketing too.
Yep, you can give the word to the collective then that you will not be on. You will not even get the urge to even click on.
The first rule of telemarketing is kill them with kindness.
Yeah, well, the orbs are coming to get you if you come on there. But anyway, seriously, I don't know if it was a good show. We talked on air. It'll go into the annals of time. The one thing about it is, though, it's going to go out into the cosmos for life. out of the airwaves, and some alien may pick it up one day and go, "What? This is a strange conversation. What are these? Who are these subjects?" You know, after the planet's already ascended and shit, we'll wonder. Maybe it's us from the future. They wonder, who in the hell are these two, and what are they talking about? So it'll be out there forever. That's the good news. The
Okay,
energy.
then.
What do you think about that? Do you have any? Now we went over. See, Pleiadian energy all over. We already went over your pages where they can find you. So you're basically on Facebook. You're basically on Instagram. You have a Facebook page, and one more
And
time,
I have
repeat that for the
I have
audience
two
before we get out of
groups.
here. God, this is the most
Yeah.
unorganized. Go ahead.
Man, bro, I know. It's all right though.
No, it is. It'll get better. It'll get better. Seriously, I know. Trust me. I know. It isn't that it was a bad thing, but I mean, our energies will jive better together because we're both coming at it from the same angle and shit, and it's weird. Yeah,
Right.
you're
Okay.
you're just a little bit more hopped up version than me is all, and I'm just now I know how I make other people feel.
Right. It's okay.
It's all
It's
good,
okay.
bro.
It's
It's
no
all good, sister.
problem. No problem for you, my
Fuck
friend. No
no, dude.
problem.
Yeah. It ain't like, yeah, no shit, dude. Yeah, exactly. Hey, we're having fun. But yeah, so they can find you at clear. Not. No, I always have a problem with this when I'm looking in for your page.
Clear's
Nonsensical.
nonsensical realm, but it's
Clear is
spelled with a K.
nonsensical. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll type it all out to you.
Yeah. Type it. Yeah. Why don't you spell it out one time for the crowd before we get out of here? Spell it though.
It's CLEERS, clears with two E's, and then nonsensical is NONSENSIKAL because magic is with the K, and then realm, and then clears nonsensical shire. The only difference between the two groups is the last word, shire and realm.
Yeah. Hey, definitely send me those links, by the way. Yeah, definitely send me the links.
No shit, Sherlock. I will.
Yeah. All right, Lisa, do you have anything else you'd like, any enlightening words you'd like to say from there in the enlightenment capital of the world, Iowa?
I don't know, man. I just, whew, I don't know.
What?
Shines so fucking bright it burns their eyes.
Okay, absolutely.
That's all.
Yeah, I love your words of wisdom. Yeah, next time we'll end with those instead of rambling on and on and on. Yeah, but that was beautiful, like you said earlier. Exactly. We'll get it down one or two more times and it'll flow. But yeah, I am of course your host, Rocken Larry Locken. Boy, after all that, let's see, you can find me at one place I would really go to is just at this page on Facebook where you can find out everything I do. It's called Rocken Larry Locken social media outlets, or it's got a secondary name, the Larry Locken Network. But man, I'm available. I could go through the fucking list, maybe I will. You know, but anywhere you want to find me on social media, I'm the Larry Locken channel, spaced out. Sometimes it's all together. Okay, that's just the difference depending on what platform it is. Because you know what, I'm on all of them. I'm on, except for SoundCloud and LinkedIn. I'm like on, you know, I don't know all of them. I'm on TikTok, Hip Hop, BitBop, Instagram, you know, Telegram, Go Buy a Gram, Tell a Lie, Television. You know what I'm saying? I'm on all that shit. I'm on Pinterest, which I have little interest, barely any interest. Most of the time disinterest, but sometimes interest in Pinterest. Okay, try that. You know, I'm on it all. I'm on, you know, I'm on Threads.
There, man.
I'm on Threads, Dreads, Meds. I don't need any more street cred. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on there, and I'm on,
Out
you
there in
know,
them ethers.
I'm on tie-dyed sky, purple sky, blue sky, gray skies are going to clear up, put on a happy face, blue sky.
Neon clear.
Yeah, I'm on all that shit. Okay, so lemon 8. I really don't master my studies anymore.
Stupid.
What? Shame on you. You know,
Goodbye.
let's every fucking word. And with that, we're out, ladies and gentlemen. It has been fun, and
You're done. You're done. Wind it up. You're done.
we'll holler at you in a minute. Are we off air? Oh no, we're not there. Yeah, we're up. Hey, tell everybody your deepest, darkest secret. We're off air.